This version of It's Eric Nagel has been modified from its original broadcast. Content has been edited to fit this platform.
Believe none of what you hear and half of what you see.
It's Eric Nagel. And it starts now.
Ladies and gentlemen of the universe, the next voice you hear, it's Eric Nagel.
And thank you, Scott Shannon. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the program. I am Eric Nagel. Joining me each and every week from the frozen tundra known as Arizona. Say hello to Jordan.
Hi, everybody.
What happened? Problem with the mic there?
Sometimes you don't unmute me, so I was ready to unmute, so I hit it, and you'd be unmuted at the same time. So we're both on it.
All right.
Not
There's your opening banter, everybody. Do us a kindness if you're listening to us on the iHeartRadio app. Thank you very much for doing so. But if you're listening to us, Apple, Spotify, any of those places that you get your on-demand content, go over there, leave us a positive review. It does help out the program. If you want to join us live each and every week as we do the show, you head over to our live rooms on Twitch and on YouTube, both under It's Eric Nagel, and you can be a part of the show there. And if you missed all of that stuff and you just want to watch the video at your convenience, you can do that as well over on our YouTube channel. Again, It's Eric Nagel right there, and you get the whole produced video set and ready to go for your enjoyment. We are here. I didn't know if we would be here this week. I also didn't know if we were going to be here last week, but we did it. Things were going on. I wasn't feeling good, and we moved the show a day. So apologies to all the affiliates and everybody else for not being there. And the show went up over the weekend. You got it. So there was a show to be had this week. Was not looking good either up until 2 days ago. It was really, really bad. I tried to do the thing where you go, I don't need to go to the doctor. It's not that big a deal. I'll just kind of ride this out and it'll go away on its own. And it kept getting worse and worse to the point that one day it was hurting to get up. And I'm thinking, oh, is this the new COVID thing? And I don't even know because they didn't test me for it. But I was hacking up all the usual suspects. So went to urgent care. I was in and out in 10 minutes. Like, this was the fastest I've ever been to an urgent care. Checked your chest, your breathing, your blood pressure, the little thing on your finger for your oxygen levels. What's going on? Any other pain? No, just head's congested, coughing up stuff, and these violent coughing fits. Okay. Sent all the prescriptions to your pharmacy. You should be able to pick them up probably in like half an hour, and you're all good to go. I was like, okay, great. Went out there, signed out, left, got in the car, and then realized they never told me what I had.
The last time I got really sick, I didn't even go to urgent care. I
usually don't. I never really
that's
go
what I was
to do
saying.
any of that stuff. But it got to the point where the coughing fits were so violent that I was like, I can't do this. Like, I woke up, my esophagus was burning from all the coughing and stuff. So, they went and they gave me all this high prescription stuff. And I think I'm on the third day of taking everything, doing okay so far. Not completely
Well, that's what
there.
I thought. That's why I thought you had the same thing I had, like an upper respiratory infection, where they gave me like the nose spray, the Zyrtec or whatever it was, and then antibiotic, and then some kind of like decongestant. Like, I had to take like I forget what the brand was. I'm not going to name it on here, but yeah, it was the same thing. But see, I didn't even go to an urgent care. I'm just so anti going to a doctor that I did teledoc.
Right.
And I was just so surprised that they were able to just be like, all right, this is what you got. This is what you sound like. All through Zoom, send in my scripts, got it all done, and then just, took my meds and got better. And I'm like, why do we even go to doctors anymore unless it's for something like super major?
Yeah. New York, New Jersey's full of these urgent care places now. So, sometimes they're bad. You got to sit there and you're waiting half an hour because there's like 9 other people there before you. It seems... I don't go on the weekends to these things, but I have to drive past them. And it seems everybody waits till the weekend to go. Like, when they go to do their food shopping or Home Depot or any of the other things they can't do during the week because of school, work, what people do. And you see massive parking issues around the urgent cares on the weekends. So it's just like, you worked all week being sick or whatever, and then you went on your days off.
Well, yeah. Why would you want to use all your sick time for actual sick days?
Well, sometimes, I mean, maybe not if you do real men's work, but most places we're like, you should leave.
And we don't.
If you're sent home, that's not a sick day.
Right.
There, you came in and why? Your camera, did you shrink down?
No.
Why are you so low in your camera space?
I don't know. Let me fix it. I was leaning down for a second, so.
Yeah, but all right, you have a lot of headroom where you don't need that, and then it's a lot darker.
Max headroom over here.
It's a lot darker. You're not as red as Santa Claus as you were last week.
Well, my camera works, Eric. So if you want to start throwing some stones, buddy.
Fair enough. But when it does work, I look fantastic.
Yeah, I'll fix it. I can adjust settings.
Yeah. So anyway,
that's what people love to hear.
Yeah, got prescriptions, doing better. There you go. End of story there. Trashitarian in the chat saying, better to wait half an hour because you're in line than make an appointment and still have to wait another 30 minutes. That does suck too. When you go to your doctors and they're like, okay, if you show up 5 minutes late because traffic, whatever, trying to find a parking spot, they're giving you shit for it.
Oh, yeah.
And in fact, there's some specialists that they don't even have their front counter anymore. They have those touchpads.
Yeah.
And if you're not there within a certain time, you can't even log in on the touchpad for your appointment. You have to go and reschedule another appointment.
Yeah, my daughter's a orthodontist is that way. You walk in, you don't even talk to the lady sitting there. You just turn to your right. There's that iPad right there. You see the name, bloop, and then you go sit down. You don't have no interaction.
You have QR codes or something that you scan with the thing, like you're printing out a boarding pass at the airport. But yeah, you could show up 5 minutes. It's like, sorry, traffic was bad, or I was looking for a parking spot downstairs and I got in here, and they give you shit. Then all of a sudden you're waiting. 40 minutes goes by. And like, when am I going to see that? Oh, they're running behind. So I'm getting yelled at and chastised because I showed up here 5 minutes and then waited for the elevator in your building to get here. And your doctor is 50 minutes late now, and I'm supposed to be okay with that. Yes, and you have a $45 copay.
It's basically the episode where George went to go see Elaine's friend at the doctor's. It was like Wendy Malick, and helped his arm out, and then he had to cancel an appointment, so she charged him the fee. But then she had to cancel the appointment to go skiing with Elaine, and then it was no big deal. I mean, it's the same crap that keeps happening with doctors, and it's why I just want to avoid them as much as possible. So I will stick to the teledoc unless it's something like my, arm is falling off.
Yeah. Well, anyway, that's what happened there. What's the next complaint I have? Oh, the post office. So I've had people.
Is that where we start off the list of complaints?
Yes, it's like
almost Festivus season.
Yeah, it's Festivus all year long. It's how it's celebrated.
Post office. With you people.
So yes, the first round of the anniversary posters went out. Thank God. Yep. I've been having this problem because so many other things going on. When I have a chance to get to the post office, they won't take the posters because there's too many of them. I'm like, we'll take a couple of these things, but we can't do all of those. I go, you can do all of those because I'm paying for the service for you to mail them for me.
Other than the shape, do they ever give you a reason why they won't take all of those, or they're just being stupid? Because I know what a poster tube looks like, so I'm like, why can't that's not that. Bulky?
That's it. That's the. Sorry. That's it. That's the width. There's nothing in it. Dirt cheap. There's 100 posters that were going out. They wouldn't take them. So I tried other post office. I even just brought a box of 50. I'm like, let me get 50 out of the way. 2 other post offices wouldn't do it because he's like, no, it's going to cause a line. One place, I said, there's nobody here. Let's just ring up as much as we can. And then if people start showing up, then we'll cut it off at that. And then you can take care of the line. Wouldn't do it. 3 post office wouldn't do it. So then I was told.
These are like legit post office like buildings, or these
aren't little hubs. These are
post
official,
offices. Yeah, I was going to say.
These are official post offices.
Interesting.
So then we had talked about, I'm like, you know what, screw it. I have the scale and all that other stuff I do because, of eBay and other shit. I'll just do it through there, and then maybe I'll just do the postage myself at home. And some people were reaching out and saying, stamps.com, things like that. Well, going through the process, realizing that I don't have one of those thermal printers that can print the sticker, the adhesive to put onto these things.
It's like those little boxes.
Yeah, so if I go to print out the postage, I got to sit there and cut it out like a pair of with a pair of scissors like a sucker, right? And then try to tape.
Get one of those old those big arm cutters that we used to have in elementary school.
I have a mini version of that, and
nice.
I even have this thing too. Look at that.
Oh,
put it through here.
You're crafty.
Right off? Yeah. So I tried everything. And then you realize even the printout is bigger than the circumference of the tube. So that's a problem. I need to get the stickers. So I'm losing my mind. I'm looking. I'm like, what if I get a thermal printer? To get that, and then they sell like 3 packs of the rolls for the labels and stuff. There was over $100. And I was like, this poster is causing me nothing but problems this year, and I'm trying to do something nice for the listeners, the subscribers, everybody that helps and support the show. Again, I am not attacking you guys. I very much appreciate you guys for watching, listening, spreading the word, all of that stuff. This is turned inward, and the only outward is against the United States postal system. I can't wait for it to crash and burn. So I can't print the labels. So now I'm like, I'll bring smaller denominations of the poster to the post office.
Again, you shouldn't have to. Especially if you're in a place where there's no lines. Why do you have to?
Because they don't work. Meaning the people at the post office. When you have some of those post offices closed for an hour for lunch. Like from 2 to 3, it's closed at one post office. So you can't go and do anything there till they come back. Then one other post office closes at 4:30, which is not the government time.
Which is why sometimes it's hard for me to get stuff out to you, because I don't have an actual post office. Like an actual post office, not a little hub of something, is about 20 minutes away. So if I'm getting off work at 5, there's no chance I'm making it.
Right.
If I leave early enough, I can hit up one of the smaller ones, like a hub. Usually they're like authorized postal services inside another business, like a real estate agency or whatever.
Right.
So I'll do those. But yeah, the hours are really weird. It's like, oh, we're pickups at noon. So if you don't get there before noon, it ain't going out same day.
No.
Like it is a pain.
So I bring 10. 10. This lady, and I only put 4 up on the table, on the counter there at first. This lady is already giving me shit because there's a long line of people behind us, and that's not my problem. I don't care.
You better scan quickly.
I waited in line to get to this point, and now I'm going to mail my stuff. So I put 4 up there, and already, when they scan it, you see the list of prices on the little screen there.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, how do you want to do this? And I said, first class 3-day ground? I'll do that one. Oh, that doesn't count for this. What do you mean it doesn't count? Well, that has to be a flat envelope. I go, it's on the list of options here that you scanned. It's not like it's, you put what this was, the dimensions and the weight.
You're not guessing at what you want. You're seeing a list, a menu, and you're choosing off that menu.
Right. So it's like, let's do that. Well, okay, it's flat. Do you want to take these and put these in some kind of envelopes? I go, no, I don't. And I said, I want to mail them as is. They're labeled and ready to go. I don't know why this is such a fucking problem. I didn't say fucking to the lady. I'm just, at this point, I don't understand. So I said, no, I want the first class rate. Well, we can't do that. Then why is it on the screen? She won't explain it to me. So the only rate they have is like a 3 to 5 day ground shipment thing, which I don't care. Fine. Every one of those posters was over $6 to mail. It has never been that expensive, ever. And we've been sending those posters out for almost 9 years.
That's what I was going to ask. Like in years past, has it ever been like, price? Yes, price has gone up. That sucks. But has it ever been this hard to mail these things off? Because I'm assuming you've mailed them like this before.
I have.
Then why such an issue this year then?
What used to take the longest time with the posters was when we left Sirius and we went to Independent and then to iHeart, right? Mm-hmm. is Matt stopped coming over to do the show here. He wanted to set up from
Matt's
his
fault.
place.
Got it.
And
no more explanation.
Yes, let's all blame Matt OG. No. And then Giddles, was living in Brooklyn, and we weren't around. So I'd have to make trips with the posters to get them to sign, because I have everyone on the show sign it.
Right.
And then we would mail it out. So that would take the most time, because after I would sign all my end of it, and I'd have the mailing list done, the labels done, everything was done, ready to go. I just had to get the other guys to sign the posters, bring them back, mail them, done. Never had a problem with dropping them off at the post office ever until this year. So now I have 10. She has 4 of them. The 3 to 5 day ground thing, over $6 a tube. I'm like, that can't be right. Yeah, I'm like, that's what it weighs. I go, this weighs nothing. This weighs less than like a small package. This is no way. This is $6. It is. I'm furious now because she won't let me check the other option that was there, which was about just under $3. Can't do that. Okay, fine. So, what is Deet saying in there? I had to pay $13 a pop for certified mail with a delivered receipt. Yeah, that's where they upsell. Certain things you have to get the. Remember when they used to charge for tracking?
Yeah.
Tracking now it's part of everything now, but it used to you had to spend extra for tracking. Now you have to spend extra for just for the signature. And they usually only do that if it's something that has to be certified, some kind of financial papers, those kind of things. So, going through everything. Now she wants to have small talk after she's already pissed me off. And has already displayed.
So how's your day, sir?
Has already displayed that she's not interested in doing her job.
It's a nasty cough you got there, sir. How you
should
feeling?
have coughed in her face, and I said, "Yeah,
No, because that's like that. You can be that's assault.
I would have said, "Oh, she's you sick? Yeah, COVID once, AIDS twice. It just happens." So the post she's going through, and she goes. So, after she told me, why don't you put him in something flat you can mail this to? No, I said, they're posters. Oh. Are you selling these? That's none of her business, but no.
Right.
So I just said, no. Oh, this isn't like an eBay thing? I go, no. She goes, oh, what are they for? I go, they're giveaways. And I'm just giving her one-word answers. She's trying to be nice now. After she wasn't nice to begin with, and I don't want to be nice to you now, do your job, ring these up. So she's checking up the 4, and then I go, okay, here's 4 more. And she's like, what? And I said, yeah. I said, actually, you know what? Here's 6. We'll just make it 10. And she's like, sir, I go, I don't care. I'm here. I'm paying for this. I don't care if there's other people behind me. I'm not purposely trying to clog up the line. I'm trying to get the service done that I'm paying for. Right? So she goes through everything there, and she's still asking me. She's like, oh, is there a website for these things? And I just went, no. Meanwhile, the label on there says the radio show name, the company, the .com. Labels, it's all there. And I'm just like, nope, none of your business. Goes through everything there. It was like $70 to mail 10 posters, right?
Jesus.
So
we have 100 of these.
We got 100 of these.
99, 98, something to go out. Yeah.
So, well, some of them I lucked out.
I already got mine, you losers.
Some of them I lucked out because I ran into people and I went, oh, I can hand deliver them to you. Others, I'm mailing them all out. So the whole point of this is they are on the way out. Hopefully by Christmas you'll have the posters we promised at the beginning of July.
I was going to say, yeah, we did our show in July.
But alas, that is where we're at with that. Window next to me, I heard a lady was mailing a couple of postcards, and she needed, I guess there's stamps for postcards.
Okay.
It's not regular mail stamps. There's postcard stamps, which I was not aware of. And she said...
I didn't think you would have to do special stamps, but okay.
So apparently for something like that, yeah, they make a smaller denomination stamp. Lady tells the customer, we don't have any. And she said, what do you mean you don't have any? We don't have any postcard stamps. She goes, yeah. She goes, I can give you regular stamps. And she's like, how much are the regular stamps? And apparently they're like 76 cents a stamp or something. Can you look that up real quick?
73 cents.
73
for the
cents
forever stamps.
For a stamp now.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, no, I just need the stamps for the postcards. Well, we don't have any of those. And the lady's like, how do you not have anything that are government issued?
Was there a run on postcards being sent out that they just couldn't keep up with the
Who sends postcards anymore? So they have to have an abundance
I don't.
of them.
I have a bunch that I wanted to send out to my sister. I have not done it.
Yeah, nobody sends postcards. So they should have an abundance of these stamps because it's still, I guess it's tender, stamps. I guess.
Legal tender? I don't know.
So this lady's
stamps
pissed.
are cheaper.
And the other lady's trying to sell her more expensive stamps. So apparently postcard stamps are like 56 cents or something.
56 cents for postcard stamps. Yeah, I'm just looking at it now.
So I'm ignoring the lady who's helping me at the post office to hear the other lady not helping another customer at the post office and hearing them argue over stamp prices. And I'm just thinking about it and I go, well, yeah, you know the whole thing, everything's expensive, inflation, whatever.
Right.
The post office was designed as a essential service, was not meant to make money. In the entire run of the post office, it was never a profitable division of the government. And in fact, they kept it that way because they could write off a lot of the losses from the post office to balance out other divisions of the government. You know, if they had to pay taxes, well, we took a loss over here, so this is going to cover that. Taxes, you know, finances, all that stuff. It's gotten worse. The people working there are total shit. And they, remember a while back, that I wonder if this was the same lady. The one that told me I couldn't mail anything if it was in an Amazon box.
Yeah,
because
they were
it's
giving
competition.
You crap. Yeah.
Which, by the way, never listened and been sending them ever since. Specifically in Target or Amazon boxes. Just because. Never blocking them out with markers. Doing all of that. So yeah, this has been an ongoing issue. It's way too expensive just to mail anything. And along with everything else, it's like, I want them to crash and burn. I want them to shut up and go away. They're losing horribly to Amazon, even to FedEx and UPS. I've been comparing shopping this afternoon. I could save more money by shipping this through UPS than using the postal service. And it's never been that way.
No, UPS always seemed like that was the more expensive option, that if I can't get it through normal shipping channels, that's the way I would have to go. And I always avoided it because it always just seemed like it would be way too expensive.
Right. So now I'm like, well, maybe I just need to start making a UPS account and doing all this shit through UPS because it seems to be a lot easier, their interface, than the post office. The post office was supposed to be undercutting all the private sectors. And now the private sectors are just blowing the post office away. So if things get really bad in the next couple of years and they're going to have to downsize the post office, oh well, I don't get those. I don't get that fucking junk mail from Optimum Cable from the last 15 years saying that we want you back when I haven't had them forever. And, here's what I'll miss. All those magazines that come in telling me how I could buy assorted meats and cheeses through the mail.
Right.
I do like looking at those. I'll sit there and spend a couple moments at the table looking through and go, that ham looks fantastic. Oh, summer
Speaking
sausage.
of, last year we did that where we had a show where we showed off all our different catalogs. We're coming up on catalog season, so we're going to be getting those.
I got my Amazon Kids catalog.
Did you get yours?
I got it yesterday. I meant to bring it down. Shit, I forgot to bring it down. But yeah, essentially the Amazon catalog has replaced the Toys R Us catalog and which replaced the Sears Wish Book, which was the Bible. It was
like thick, like
which
big
was
old
the
book.
Bible for kids to figure out what they wanted for Christmas. They would go through and make a list or circle things so that the parents would know what to go out and buy.
And they had everything in there. They had clothing, they had bikes, they had tools for all the dads. They had, everything Sears sold had everything. And that was the running joke that, if you couldn't get a Playboy or stuff, you had the Sears catalog because they were modeling off the lingerie. And, you're 8 and 9 years old learning, what you like.
Right.
That was the go-to thing. So I miss those catalogs.
Trashitarian saying, where I used to live, the towns were small and there are 2 post offices 10 minutes apart and a third in between. Do you think they would have staggered hours to save money? No, absolutely not.
I love that fact that I can order something on Amazon and get it on a Sunday, and I don't have to worry about the mail.
I know.
That's what makes me happy about doing that kind of stuff, and that's why I continue to do that.
Saying in the chat, yes, see which is cheaper between FedEx and UPS. Right now, it seems to be UPS because I'm not in a rush to order things or send things out anymore where I need air shipment. So the ground shipment's fine for me when we're sending a lot of this stuff out. Yeah, I think I may have to really look at UPS and try to make them the default carrier for what we need for the show and whatnot.
Official shipping from It's Eric Nagel.
What else do we have here before we get into all the terrible stuff?
You mean the show?
Yes. Since you mentioned the catalogs, I do want to show you that I was out and about this week, and as you do in the fall, it's fall officially, at least on the East Coast. Out by you, it's just hot all year long. It's fall season. It has not the leaves haven't really turned colors yet. They're a bit late on that. Yeah, leaves. And these things called trees. It hasn't really gotten that cold. It drops into the 50s at night, but then it's back mid-70s during the day, so it's not that big a deal. But alas, officially fall, and it's the stupid pumpkin spice everywhere season, right?
And that I can get behind.
So what do you do during the fall pumpkin spice season? You pine for the days of Christmas and peppermint season. And lo and behold, Starbucks is delivering in a big, big way, because Starbucks said this year, you know what? We know you like the pumpkin spice. We're not giving a shit about it this year. We're all about the apple and maple.
They have done that in a big way, and I've tried pretty much all of it.
Right. So I tried that apple oatmeal espresso that they had.
Oh, was it the apple crisp oat milk or the chai latte?
Oh, did I say oatmeal? Yeah, I did say oatmeal.
Yeah, I know what you meant.
The apple crisp oat milk espresso thing. Yeah. Very good.
Super good.
Super good. A lot of sugar in it. So didn't finish it, but I had a few sips of it. It was great to see an alternative to the pumpkin spice stuff. Well, they've also just announced what's coming, and it's coming faster than we thought for peppermint season. Because take a look at this.
Jesus Christ.
Here's what we got for the holidays. The first thing, and it's not even peppermint, and I'm all about it. Cranberry orange refresher. I will definitely give that a chance.
It's cranberry orange refresher, because everything has to have a kitschy name. And
I know, but for the audio people that are not seeing this, phosphorescent pink glowing beverage here.
Like, bright.
Yeah, it's very bright. It looks fantastic. And
that is indeed a tasty beverage.
I'll take Stone Cold's word for it, because he would know. But look, you got your gingerbread stuff, you got your peppermint stuff. That's my usual go-to, the peppermint mocha coffee thing.
Yeah.
I usually go for that. But this new one here, this peppermint chocolate cream, they're doing cold foams. So I'm guessing this is like what Duncan was trying to do, that nitro coffee.
No, it's a little bit different. So the nitro coffee what it does is it makes the coffee smoother, so it doesn't feel as like that bitter coffee taste. So like they do the same thing. What the cold foam is just they have a way of creating kind of a whipped cream, but it's a little bit different. So you're not getting the hot foam when you're steaming the milk, and it's just like this dense cold foam, literally what it says. So it's just such it's a weird thing. I don't know how they do it, but it's tasty.
All right. Well, I mean, I don't care about the cake pops and the cookies and all their other nonsense they have here. But this peppermint cream cold foam, I'd be interested in trying.
Did you see what they're doing at the bottom there, though? On the bottom right, they have silicone straw toppers. They're getting into the... Can you scroll?
Off. There we go.
Yeah, they're getting into the straw topper things, like for like your...
This is like the shit they're putting into the Crocs.
The little nibbits.
The thing Disney started, or not Disney, the Olympics started, where if you had little holes in your wristband, whatever, you could put little charms in it, and we'll charge you the same amount for the wristband as we will the additional charms.
Buddy. Yeah, so now you can get a straw topper to go with your chestnut praline cream.
Yeah, absolutely not.
I've never had chestnut praline cream.
If this thing shows up in my drink, I'm ripping it out. I'm gonna pull it like like in World War II, where they would pull a grenade pin from their teeth, and I would just spit it over the counter and then run.
Now, I don't think they're not going to be putting these in your drinks. What's going to happen is that you're going to have to buy it, and they look like they are
let me
mystery toppers.
They'll hang on what will look like some sort of tree decoration, and they'll look like ornaments, and they'll hang from it like a keychain ring. And it's like, oh, pick your topping for it. No, not doing that. Yeah. I will try the beverages. I'm not buying anything else extra there.
I have been a big fan of their chai offerings. Like this year and last year, they did the iced pumpkin cream chai. Pretty good. This year, they have the apple one, and I've done that one.
It's a plant.
It's a pumpkin spice with chives. Mm-hmm. Sounds gross.
Imagine being to open up the place next to them. Same menu, but anything chai is chives.
It's just chive.
You never know. Could take off. People get weird with ingredients and stuff, and then they'll start saying this is the next big thing. And you go, no, you're just trying to be trendy on the internet. This is terrible. This is awful, and you hipsters need to leave this neighborhood.
I do like how they have leaned into the apple thing. Like we had this conversation, you and I offline, where we were talking and hanging out. And I told you, being from Arizona, I love pumpkin spice and I love pumpkin everything.
Wait, there was Beth in the chat, a turkey sausage Danish?
Sage Danish.
What?
Here, bring the thing back up.
Let me bring that back up here.
Here, take off the banner.
Sorry, Beth. Let me take that on there. Sugar plum.
No, take off the scroller.
The banner too.
There we go.
Cranberry.
Turkey sage Danish. Ooh, that looks good. I know they do their hot foods offering. I've never been a fan of their hot foods because I'm sure. Clearly they don't make it there.
They're the equivalent of like a Hot Pocket or something. Any of those food.
Wrong with a Hot Pocket.
When we were in San Diego, right? We went to Starbucks. Trevor was buying breakfast from Starbucks.
Yeah, I don't.
And he was getting like their version of a McMuffin and some other thing. And I go, Trevor, this all looks gross. It's all like not flash fried. What is it called where they do the opposite, where they freeze it? Is it flash frozen?
Flash frozen. It looks like it's like one of those like sous vide things where it looks like it's just wrapped in plastic. They stick it in some hot water and it's heated up, or they throw it in the microwave. And then throw it into this little microwave
thing that looks like the toaster oven from Subway when they're like, "Oh, we toast your sandwiches." It's like it's a shitty microwave. That is, I hate all of that stuff.
Yeah, I've never been into it. I do like their egg bites. Like I've been doing them at home instead using like the Instant Pot, but. Right. Yeah, I never get their breakfast because it just doesn't sound good. The idea sounds good. But.
Holiday season, walking around, and like I said, beginning or end of August, they already had Christmas creeping up in the back part of Walmart. It was, little by little, it's moving the summer seasonal stuff out of the way. Well, I was at Walmart the other day, and it was 1, 2, 3, 4 full aisles plus big displays of Christmas stuff. Halloween had the big orange pallets of multiple tiers of candy bags, but the Halloween decorations were down to one-ish aisle, and Christmas is almost all over the place. Look at this.
The whole outdoor section is all Christmas right now at mine too.
It's this like diamond crystal looking snowman, which is standing in the middle of like a Christmas Stargate. And I was sitting there looking at this.
Christmas Stargate is the episode title. So
the thing is about 10 feet tall. And I'm looking at this and I'm like, is this an eyesore? And then I stared at it for a little while. No. And then I'm like, I think I want this now.
I hate you so much.
I think I want this. I'm going to put this with my 10-foot Oogie Boogie. And my 15 to 20 foot Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, which I am going to put up.
I don't think I've seen that one. I've seen your Oogie Boogie one.
So I have a large fenced area, 6-foot vinyl fencing, all that. I think what I'm going to do is I'll have Oogie Boogie in the front, and behind him, since it's so much bigger, behind the fence, it'll just Stay Puft will come up behind him.
That's pretty cool.
Like that. I think that'll be awesome. I've turned into that guy now.
You're the inflatable guy?
No, I have other decorations and stuff that are very cool looking, but I used to not like inflatables because a lot of inflatables look tacky. They look terrible. Yeah. Remember when the big craze was the life-size snow globe?
Yeah.
You plug it in and it'd be like a decorative scene in the Yeah, I hate that. I hate all that stuff. I also hate the people who are too cheap. Don't even put anything up if you're going to do this. They take the stake, they put it in the middle of their lawn, and it's this thing that reflects green, red, and white on their house.
The projector lights. I see that for Christmas.
Well, it's not even the projector where it's like a decoration of something. It's just scattered dots of light on the house. I go, that looks terrible.
Yeah, I see that a lot for Christmas. They've started to expand into Halloween where you see like, oh, look, there's Dracula's head spinning and there's this and that. I'm like, this is laziness. Like, I don't decorate my front yard area for Halloween, which is weird because I love that holiday. But mainly because when I take the kids trick-or-treating, we don't stay in my neighborhood. My neighborhood, there's not a lot of streetlights because it's more of in the desert. So they try to keep those kinds of things down. And there's just not a lot of light. And I don't want them in an area where it's too dark to trick or treat. So I always take them out into like a nicer neighborhood where we're going to get the good candy and do all that. But I don't even bother decorating, mainly because I just don't want to get into the inflatables. I just really don't. Because then I know I'm going to buy a bunch of garbage.
Yeah, you can buy a bunch of garbage, but the same can also be said about the people who have the 20-foot skeleton now that you get from Home Depot, and they are impressive. But you've got now a 20-foot Grim Reaper, you've got a 20-foot giant pumpkin thing. Like, there's a lot of the horror decorations are coming out in these gigantic sizes. And I'm seeing them all over the place. And I'll say this, I rather see those monstrosities than the guy with the stake and their green, red, and white lights just shooting at the front of his house for no reason other than...
Yeah, I think that's laziness. Minimum. Yeah, I don't like it personally.
Right. Let me see if I can show you.
I went to Home Depot the other day and I saw... I'm not into the giant things because I'm not spending $300 and $400 on something that I'm going to have. Yeah, that is awesome. I always love Oogie Boogie.
So that's 10 foot. Behind him, 6 foot fence, and I'm going to have a 15 to 20 foot Stay Puff behind him.
That's amazing.
It's going to be amazing.
I saw one the other day where it was one of these ones where like they were 15 feet, 20 feet up in the air, and it was still an animatronic, but it was the Headless Horseman. So it was the horse, they had the eyes light up and the horse head was moving and the guy on the back and he was holding a skull and the skull would like talk. And I'm sitting there going, if I'm going to sink my money into something, that's what I would get. I'm not going to get the big skeleton and things like that.
Bartholomew, I've seen this too. Someone in his neighborhood has the 20-foot werewolf.
Is that the one that wears like the flannel?
Yeah, it's got some kind of like ripped clothing on there, almost like...
Those are kind of cool.
Like what is that? Potato sack style.
Yeah, burlap.
Burlap, thank you. I couldn't think of it. Kind of dressing on the thing. What I don't get is the tall skeleton, the tall Grim Reaper, the werewolf. They're great. But a good gust of wind, no matter how well you mount that thing, because it's so tall and so lanky, is going to just knock that thing down unless you have support poles, ropes in every direction or something.
Well, they have, I don't know if you've seen the 20-foot skeleton and how they do it. They have a big wide base structure that you like mount it into. So it's pretty sturdy. I don't know about the other ones. I don't know. Each company's different, but that one, from what I saw, looked like it would hold up.
I'll look through
personally, I would probably put support lines like when you do like a new tree,
right?
You stake it into the ground just to keep it up. It doesn't get that windy here to be a problem.
I'll look through my phone. There's a guy not far from me. I pass his house quite regularly that has the skeleton, but he left it up all year. And he would decorate the skeleton based on the seasons or the time.
That's awesome.
Going on. He was all Olympic up for most of July. He was
sounds great.
He was wearing an ill-fitting tracksuit. I kid you not. Had the jacket, had the pants, had some makeshift kind of sneaker thing at the bottom. He's holding up a makeshift Olympic ring sign that had really USA flags everywhere. I wanted to get out and donate to the guy. You know how sometimes you pass those houses that go so elaborate with the Christmas lights? They have their little thing in the front saying, if you would like to donate, if you enjoyed this with your family, feel free to donate to help with the electric bill, whatever. Mm-hmm. He's not asking for any of that stuff. I just might, out the goodness of my heart, knock on his door and go, I've been passing this house so many times in the last year, and I've really appreciated all the costume changes that you've done for this skeleton, I would like to donate. Please.
There was a house in Grandma's neighborhood where we usually take the kids to go trick or treating, and
this tastes like Grandma.
There was one house that had this giant silver Tyrannosaurus Rex in their front yard. Don't know why.
I've never seen that.
And every year they did the same. They did the same thing every year. Christmas hat. They always had the Christmas hat. Easter they had bunny ears on it, holding a basket in its tiny little arms. Every year they would donate, and then they moved, and it's gone. And it bums me out because for years I would be happy to see how they were decorating it for whatever, holiday or whatever. I like people who get into that sort of thing.
Wasn't there something I showed? I don't know if I showed on the show or if I showed you last year. There was some neighborhood that's not far from me. They did something on every other house. Remember, they had these big. I think they had these big giant wreaths or something.
Interesting.
And then all the light posts were taped up like candy canes.
That's kind of cool.
So you drive.
I always wanted to live in a neighborhood that did that, but my neighborhood sucks. They're never going to do that kind of stuff. But I see all these neighborhoods that do it all out for Christmas, and then they have people piping music into you drive through and you turn your radio station to a certain one, and you can hear Christmas music. I have neighborhoods like that. My neighborhood
does the the day or two before Christmas. They do, most of the blocks do it. Those little white bags with the lights in, or it's supposed to look like a candle that's inside of it, and it's supposed to light the way for Santa, I guess.
Yeah, it's like luminarias or something like that.
But they do it down the sidewalks of all these streets, and you're just driving around and you go, this is great. Look, I know some people take it to a religious level and what have you, but just as a community level, to drive through a neighborhood and when you see that they coordinate to do things like that, that's kind of cool. I'd like to see that more and more, but
yeah,
it all starts at home, Jordan. You got to start with you, and then tell your finicky neighbors to get out of their own way and get the Christmas spirit and start putting some stuff up.
Well, and the thing is this is not, and I hate saying this because that immediately sounds like it is. This is not a racist thing. My neighbors
hold on,
each
racist
side
coming in. Yes.
Yeah. What's up? No.
Hold on.
Here we go.
All right, here we go.
Hey, what's up, man?
Yeah, go ahead.
That's usually me saying hi to the neighbors. So both my neighbors are black. Very cool neighbors. One of them has been there.
Hey, what's up, man?
All the time.
Usually when I'm walking to the the mailbox, and so one of them's been there as long as I've been here. So I've known him for 8 years. Great neighbor.
So you called the
raises
cops on
dogs. Smokes pot constantly, so the running joke is oh look, the neighbor's curing his glaucoma. And then the new neighbors, also black, just moved in, but they're the nicest people. Very old couple, but they've got their grandson living there, so everyone seems pretty cool. What I've noticed usually in the black community, and I've had neighbors like this before, a lot of them are Jehovah's Witness and no one celebrates. I don't think I've ever seen one decoration ever come up on my neighbor's house in 8 years.
And that's weird because usually that you find that more in areas near a city. Mm-hmm. I don't want to say full urban areas because I'm sure they're there too, but the suburban areas near an immediate city have a lot of the Jehovah's Witness in those neighborhoods.
Yeah, I have not seen one decoration for any holiday ever go up at his house. I don't know if it's just because he doesn't want to. I know I don't. I'll do Christmas lights. I'll do things like that.
You should go to their house and do it for them. Like that.
Right? I felt the spirit. It's Arbor Day, you idiot.
Who's the teacher? Mr. Garrison. That Christmas song Mr. Garrison sings.
Mr. Garrison.
Where he goes and yells at all the other religions for not celebrating
Christmas cheer.
And he's just throwing candy canes and trees at them.
Hello, my Hindu friend. Yeah. I love that song.
Yeah. Hey there, Mr.
Playing that for Christmas.
Hinduist. Merry effing Christmas. God is gonna roast your ass, you paganistic heathen scum. Like whatever it is.
That's the Christmas carols I want to do going around the neighborhood.
You should be that guy. Go around. You're like the reverse Grinch,
Right.
We'll dress you up as reverse Flash, but, Grinchy. And you go around and you forcefully decorate for the holidays to the people who don't want to participate.
Yeah, exactly. Where are all these Christmas lights?
And then you followed up with America as you burn that into the lawn instead of a cross or something.
Well, I hang it all up in a way where it takes forever to get down, and sometimes they'll give up, and then the HOA comes after them for leaving them up after the holidays. So it's just twice as fun.
Acres and acres covered in tinsel for no reason.
So much tinsel.
Like planes get blinded as they're flying over from the sun reflection because of all the tinsel just laying all over Jordan's neighborhood.
Great. Except my house. I'll still not decorate my house. I'll be the lone undecorated house. And I'll be like,
no, but that's when you got to hide amongst them because that's how they'll find you. They send a drone up and go, who's the one house that doesn't look like it's been bombarded by like a failed Pier 1 import? And, that house, that must be where he lives.
They'll do the top down view where you see all the lights and it's just that one blackened area where my house is.
All right.
Speaking of, did you see that they did an aerial shot of before the hurricane and then after the hurricane, and you can see all the lights lit up in the U.S. and then now after the hurricane, because of all the blackouts and the power outages, you can see just a swath of nothing. Yeah, it's crazy.
It's sad.
Yeah, that's what I want my house to look like from space. I just want to be that lone holdout.
We'll get to that in a little bit. Podcast Media, what up, guys? Hello, gentlemen. How are you? I've checked out their podcast time to time, even sent them some notes about fixing their microphones. One of the guys...
Which is ironic considering we don't go one show without some kind of technical issue.
Well, that's not from us doing it. We can sit here and all of a sudden it just decided to turn off. Yeah. They had these nice microphones. One guy wasn't even, the mic was going this way. He wasn't even near talking to it. And I just wrote to him like, you have a very expensive microphone. It's a good product. Turn it this way and actually use it. And we've been friends ever since. So yeah, please go and check out their podcast media on YouTube and find their podcast through there. All right, moving on. So every now and then I like to update you since this fatherhood thing is, new to me and coming into my own as the kid starts to venture into the school years. I'm learning as well. Mm-hmm. So I get a notice sent home to me that they're trying to do these things where they're promoting healthy dietary lifestyles and exercise and all that stuff so that kids don't turn into, big, fat, deteriorating messes. And so they sent me this list here of standards that they implement at the school that they wish parents to also implement at home to make it easier for this, so that it's the same way at school as it is at home. Now, in theory, that sounds okay. I could be up for that. On paper, there's some things that are absolutely not happening. So I want to read you some of the suggestions that they have here. Well, not suggestions.
I don't think I've ever gotten a list like this. This is new to me.
Okay, so 2 pages here.
2 pages? Jesus.
So this is what they're doing. It says, please review the standards and help us support the initiative by implementing the following guidelines in your home. In addition, please consider these guidelines when preparing your child's meals for school. Now, the school, you can have them have breakfast provided to them. You can have lunch provided to them, whatever you want to do, or you can bring stuff from home. And that's what I do, except for Fridays, which I pay for the pizza that they get. And it's not like the school's Elio's things. Whoever handles the food for the school district picks up like all these pizzas from a local pizzeria. Like that.
Well, that's pretty cool.
Is all dedicated to the schools if you have that as part of their plan. I wasn't doing any of that stuff because I prepare everything the night before or morning of. But when your kid comes to you and said that everyone else was having pizza and they wanted pizza and they didn't get to have any pizza, then you're like, okay, then if everyone's getting pizza on Fridays,
PTO fees and
you can have pizza on Fridays. So 4 days a week plus Friday's breakfast is all on us, and then pizza's provided. So whatever. Anyway, so this is about suggestions or guidelines, sorry, not suggestions, guidelines about preparing the kids' food for them to bring to school. Now, I've said in the past, absolutely nothing to do with peanuts because, that is taboo nowadays because, instead of weeding out the weak, we can't enjoy a peanut butter cup. So
Oh, so hard to do anything for field trips because of all those kids whose God doesn't love them.
Your basic sandwich growing up was peanut butter and jelly.
Peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah.
With strawberry jelly. I don't care what anyone
You always
else
had
says.
the weird kid who got weird shit from his parents, and it's always a boy. You never really saw girls with weird lunches. But
that's true, right?
It was always some, one kid's like.
Why has he got rice?
I remember there was one kid. I don't remember what grade I was in. It had to be either third grade or below because it was so long ago. But one kid had thick cut bologna with ketchup on white bread.
Ew.
And everyone used to go like, ew. And he said, no, it's the best. He liked it. And I wouldn't even try it. Like, I liked bologna. I liked ketchup. I was not having it together.
Sounds gross.
It sounds like you're
even
just
now, and I'll eat anything.
It sounds like you're cutting up hot dogs and putting them that as a sandwich, which leads me to the next thing, because there was a kid who used to have hot dogs on bread
weird.
Cut up as a sandwich. Like, they would cook the hot dog, slice it, and put it on there. Now, they didn't grill the hot dog.
That's what I was going to say, because when I got older, you slice them in half, you grill it, throw a little mustard, put it on a sandwich.
No, this kid had a family that boiled hot dogs. That put them into a pan with water and boiled hot dogs, and that's how he had hot dogs. Disgusting, even by today's standards. Like, I'm just like, I would never boil a hot dog.
I've gotten away from the boiled hot dog. Grew up that way, would never put that on my kids.
There was, I know like people like to say if you're in certain cities, you like the hot dog vendors and everything. No, you think they're good. They're just bad junk food that can taste good sometimes. Yeah. But, there was a guy when we were at CBS and XM. There was a guy, I'd walk a couple blocks over. He had a cart that was hidden behind Carnegie Hall. He was in the back street of Carnegie Hall.
How to get to Carnegie Hall?
He just dragged the thing over there every day. No. I walk over there, and it seemed to be the line for this guy were only people in the area that were in the know. So he was like a specialty kind of thing, because it wasn't just like you'd see other carts that were selling the honey roasted peanuts, or the dirty water dogs that say sabrettes, but they were not sabrettes. They just have the
right.
the umbrella looting that they are. This guy had stuff in coolers that he would cut open, prep, and then throw onto the grill face down, and then throw things over them. And you're like, this is fantastic. This is the guy I got to come to all the time if I want to get a gyro, if I want to get he would do these chicken and rice platters with some vegetables and the sauces and stuff. So
sounds good. Was he like Mediterranean or just like normal dude?
I think he was some kind of Russian satellite country. Where he's from?
He's from the country of Georgia.
He was very nice in the like he listened to what you wanted, your specifics, would ask you whatever. But he was a no fuss, no muss guy. He was like, next. Like, he wasn't there for small talk. He took care of you, but he wasn't there to be your friend, which was fine with me.
I like that from my food people. I like that from my hair cuttery.
Yeah. He cares enough for you at this moment until the cash exchanges hands, then beat it. So anyway, back to the kids list here. So again, review, try to implement these guidelines at home. Please consider these when you're preparing your child's meal for school. Number 1, 100% fruit juice is limited to no more than 4 to 6 ounces per day per child, and parents are encouraged to support this limit. My kid doesn't do fruit juice. Like, I know, like,
any fruit? Like, she doesn't do like the fruit punch, or just no fruit juice whatsoever, like no apple juice, no orange juice?
No, we don't do any apple juice. Like, growing up, we didn't know, kids drank apple juice all the time. It was like you either had milk or apple juice. Milk, orange juice, or apple juice. Mm-hmm. And then you find out how much friggin' sugar is in apple juice. Like, it's terrible for you. But yeah, it doesn't like any of that stuff. Doesn't even like orange juice. Doesn't want any of that stuff. We'll take a sip if you have something. Like, during the summer, I was mixing fruit seltzers with fruit juices. Mm-hmm. So I would get the peach Waterloo seltzers. And then I had the Simply, my favorite. They make the lemonade that I use. Simply had a peach juice. So you throw a splash of that into the big thing with the seltzer and ice. Stir it up. Sometimes you cut up fresh peach, put it in there. Would drink that.
You're a fancy drinker. I'm just drinking sparkling water.
It's still better than soda, These were all things I had to do to replace my soda addiction. Crystal Light. I still had the black tea and lemonade that I drank all the time, or lemon, whatever, I feel like. But if I needed that carbonation fix, I went to the seltzers. So I would buy the fruit juice to match the seltzer and then mix it all together and do my own little mixology for the summer. Kid doesn't like fruit juices. Does like, but has to be in the mood for, Capri Sun does these roaring waters.
Yeah, I've seen those.
Very low sugar, very low everything. So it's just like a little bit of fruit juice and the rest of it's water. It's like
it's like 90% water, 10% juice flavor.
Likes those. Likes the fruit punch. Okay. Likes the tropical punch. Doesn't like the berry blast, whatever. Not into that.
She needs to get into Sharkleberry Fin.
You and the Sharkleberry Fin.
I love Sharkleberry Fin.
So yeah, the fruit juice is not a problem. 4 to 6 ounces, I get. That's half a can of soda. But yeah, I learned a long time ago that those fruit juices are terrible. And I used to love, I think it was Ocean Spray, used to have a white cran grape.
I think they still do. I know they do the white peach.
No, that's what I'm thinking of. Yeah,
There's a white peach.
The white peach that drank. I love that. And then I realized, I looked at the label, I went, oh my God, there's too much sugar in this stuff. I can't really be drinking that. So, I'm fine with limiting the fruit juices. She likes water anyway, and she likes water with a splash of Pedialyte in it. So that's what the kid wants. And then steals whatever we're drinking. If I put my drink down and she sees it, she'll run over and she takes it. And I hear down the hallway, I stole your drink. And then I have to get up and chase her before she drinks whatever it was I was drinking. She finishes it because she's my kid.
So when you hear her go, this Manhattan is garbage, that's when you got to worry.
Not enough lime juice in this. All right. Sugary drinks, including fruit drinks, sports drinks, sweet tea, and soda are never offered in school, which is fine. I have no problem with that.
Yeah, completely okay with that.
I never drink sweet tea anyway.
I know. I tried it once, recently, and I'm like, oh, this is why I don't drink this. It's
the rare times I would drink sweet tea is when I'm actually down south where they do it proper. Like if you get it, and some people have told me, oh, you'll like, if you like the cane sugar, you'll like the Popeyes one. I tried the Popeyes one. It is, when I'm tasting sugar between my teeth and less of the tea flavor, that's
just chewing your tea.
But you know who does a good sweet tea? Cracker Barrel does a decent sweet tea. So you got to find the places that know how to make it. That's like a treat. That's like getting a regular Coca-Cola once in a while.
What's the tea brand that we like in the bottles?
Pure Leaf.
Didn't they do Pure Leaf did a non-sugar.
Yeah, they do a zero. They have a regular zero tea and they have a peach zero tea.
Yeah,
I wish they did a lemon zero tea, which they don't. But my go-to for there is usually, if I can't find the I don't even do the zero. I get the unsweetened lemon.
Yeah, that's
which is
good.
what I normally drink. It's got to be cold because if it's warm, it's terrible.
Yeah.
But she'll drink my tea. She'll do all that stuff. We're not doing soda and the sports drinks and everything, so that's fine.
My daughter, her gateway soda was doing when she would get invited to doing pizza parties with friends. They'd always do the root beer, and that was her gateway to drinking soda. So I stopped her from drinking for a very long time. My son won't go near anything carbonated, and I'm trying to keep that trend going as much as I can.
I don't agree with
just terrible.
I don't agree with forcing your kid into anything like that. I also don't agree where if it's not that bad, cutting the kid completely out of it. Kid loves seltzers. Mine. So when I have a can of seltzer, that she wants some, I pour some into a cup and she takes and walks off. She has her own cup of whatever. But she's drinking like a strawberry seltzer, a grape seltzer, peach seltzer.
Yeah, see, my son doesn't like the carbonation, I think. I think the carbonation is what turns him off of anything like that. He won't touch my seltzers. He won't touch soda.
Well, she loves to drink it because she loves to belch really loud in the other room.
Well, maybe he needs to learn that, and that'll be that gateway into
I'll
that.
hear her in the other room, and she belches real loud, and then giggling, and then she goes, "Excuse me,
I got your seltzer."
And I go, "It's okay," but she likes doing that. So
okay,
who am I to deny her that?
That's always fun.
Children 2 years and older are only served 1% or skim non-fat milk unless otherwise directed by the child's health provider. This is interesting because at that age, don't you want them to drink whole milk for bone growth and bone density?
I don't honestly know. I grew up drinking 2% all my life until I got old enough to realize I didn't want 2%, and I switched to like 1. And now anything above 1% feels gross. Like
I drank whole milk up until
like vitamin D whole milk.
Yeah, like I think through probably just after college. You know, I wasn't drinking like whole glasses all the time, but I had it in cereal. I'd mixed it into oatmeal. On a rare occasion, if I had a glass of milk, usually I'd make chocolate milk or something. It was always whole milk. And then, you know, as you get older, you discover in your 20s what your body's now going to cripple you with for the rest of your life.
All of a sudden, you're lactose intolerant.
Well, yeah, I was having lactose problems. So I was like, okay. This isn't happening anymore, so I switched to I do Lactaid 2% with calcium. Tastes like whole milk, perfectly fine.
You're such an old man.
I know, but acting old doesn't necessarily.
No, it's your body's doing it to you like that. I'm not holding it against you. It's so funny because I've known people just like that, where it's like, yeah, I used to do this all the time, and now I have to take a pill for this. You know, on my other show, they would always talk about eating barbecue, but then getting like your stomach would hurt or you get the heartburn. And I'm sitting there going, I can eat jalapenos raw and I never get it. My body so far has not rejected anything that I like yet. Right. And I'm happy about that. It's so funny that you're like, I have to take Lactaid to eat a bowl of ice cream if I want. You know what I mean? Like,
I talked about this on O&A once, and it was called the pizza problem. And the problem was that if I'd have a piece of pizza,
the cheese,
you know, all of a sudden it was like I was being stabbed in the gut.
See, I don't want that. I want to enjoy my stuff.
Ice cream was doing the same. Then somebody's wife or girlfriend or whatever at one point gave me this little metal packet thing called Lactaid or whatever. It was like it looked like one of those bottle cap candies. You rip open the little thing. It was there, and you would just chew it like Tums, and it would help you with lactose issues. Mm-hmm. So I started taking those things when I knew if we were going to go someplace for pizza, whatever. I would take it like half an hour before, and I'd be fine. I went, okay, so I'm not going crazy with eating all this stuff, but I can at least eat this now. And then I think because I switched the milk altogether. I haven't had that problem ever since. Like I haven't had whole milk in God knows how long. Yeah. If it's mixed into something, it's already diluted enough because it's part of a recipe or whatever. I don't really eat ice cream. Like it's very rare when I have ice cream at all, so it's not enough for that to be a problem. Pizza seems to be the only thing that would have been an issue, and
I don't want to get to a point in my life where I have to prepare for something. Like, I have to take this Tagaman HB before I eat this delicious burrito.
It'll happen. And then your taste change, too. That you can't do anything about. I think I've mentioned since dropping the soda at the beginning of June, on the rare times when I have to drink it,
it's weird, isn't it?
It tastes so much like chemicals that I don't even enjoy it anymore.
It's like when someone quits smoking and all of a sudden their taste buds kind of reform and now they're tasting food for the first time that they've been eating for years. Like you're just not used to it now. So like when you get it, I did the same thing when I was on my diet for keto, where it's like I wasn't eating all these things, and then I had a spoonful of peanut butter once, and it was like the greatest thing I've ever eaten in my life. Like you start to miss the most random things. I don't want to give up things because my body says don't do it anymore. Like it just sucks. Like I couldn't imagine having to take pills to eat pizza. I love pizza. Like there's not a day goes
I haven't
by that
done that.
Not cheese involved in any of my diet.
I think once I stopped the whole milk, everything was fine.
Yeah, because
I haven't had that problem anymore. I don't eat pizza that often, but I'm not going to turn down a piece of pizza if we're all having pizza for dinner. Yeah, I'm going to have a fucking piece of pizza, and it's fantastic. I have like one, maybe two now, and control. And you're fine. So yeah, the Lactaid stuff helped. I never had 1% milk or 2% milk growing up, because I remember my first several years of school was in a Catholic school. I was in a Catholic elementary school, and they would have milk deliveries to your class. And
on the push tray where you had all the milks lined up before nap time. Did you have those?
There
like
was
the
no
little
nap
cartons?
time.
Oh, we had nap time in kindergarten.
I had no nap time. Well, I was half day
pull out
kindergarten.
the mat and you had to lay down.
No, I was half day.
Teacher just wanted to get rid
kindergarten.
of us for like an hour.
Yeah, I'd go in the morning. I was picked up like 11:30, and I would be home for Price is Right. So that was the life. No, but they would have milk delivery, and you pay for it. You'd bring your milk money in every month or something. Because you had skim milk, whole milk, and chocolate milk. That was it. That's all that I remember them having there. The 1%, 2% didn't start working until, I guess, the 90s.
I saw something that they make 0%. And I'm like, isn't that just water
just
then?
branding.
Like,
that's skim milk.
Yeah, I know. That is just it's so weird.
You.
I've never seen a 0%, like 1%, 2%, but never 0.
Yeah, it's all branding. AM,
So
FM,
dumb.
XM. That's all it
Exactly.
is. It's branding. So
0% is serious.
So don't give your kids, whole milk or whatever. Give them skim or 1%. Do that at home. No, because my kids, I almost said teacher, my kid's doctor told us early on that when we start mixing milk, I'm paying for this super expensive milk that's like almost $8 for a half gallon. But it's got like DHA and all this other shit in there for, brain health and all. It's this specialty kids milk thing, and that's what they want me to have the kid on. That's what I'm doing. So, whatever. Hey, hold on. Bartholomew. Skim milk is just water that's lying about being milk. Correct.
You're not wrong. It's like that weird cloudy looking thing where it's almost clear.
It looks
You're
like
this
you
is
dumped
water,
a bottle.
right?
You know when you try to get the last remaining of your whiteout bottle when you were a kid? You'd put some water in there to shake it up to try to, and then you try to put it on the paper and like, oh, this is not the same consistency.
No,
that's what
water.
skim milk is. It's water added to whiteout, and it's just not the same. Tastes the same, just doesn't look the same. All right, moving on. Fruit, in parentheses, not juice, and or vegetables is served to toddlers and preschoolers.
Spelled with 2 O's, like in the cereal.
At every meal. This is what's hilarious, because they have to qualify this. Note, French fries, tater tots, and hash browns do not count as vegetables.
Bullshit.
Yes, technically potato. I just find it hilarious that they have to qualify that because
It's a
sure
starch.
somebody
It's a
out
root
there-
vegetable. Right. They don't,
Next one. French fries, tater tots, hash browns, potato chips, or other fried or pre-fried potatoes are offered to toddlers and preschoolers no more than once a month. Baked fries are okay. My kid likes these veggie chips, which I know are high in salt, but I have them divvied out into these little snack baggies. So once in a while, they want a snack, they can have that. But
they make ones that look like spooky ghosts and they're flat. I bought a bunch of them at the Costco for the kids for the fall break.
Well, I still have the bag of these veggie chips. But then I guess somebody in school had these veggie sticks. Same company makes them.
veggie straws,
straws. And it's a zesty ranch.
That's a good one.
And she's telling me about this. And I said, how do you even know about that? And somebody in school had it and she was eating those.
Wait, your kid was telling you about it?
Yeah.
Was all hopped up on the zesty ranch?
Yeah,
Nice.
so I bought a bag of those too and I mixed them up. I have
They're
little
good.
snack bags all, labeled.
Yeah, they got the sea salt zesty ranch. They make a cheese one, a queso. It's not as good.
I don't
but I like
trust
the
anything
zesty ranch.
queso. Anything queso is automatically a disappointment. I do not
Zesty
trust
ranch
it.
or the sea salt. Those are the two good ones.
Correct. Okay. Chicken nuggets, fish sticks, and other fried or pre-fried forms of frozen and breaded meats or fish are offered to toddlers and preschoolers no more than once a month. So that means
still fish sticks at school now. Still,
I guess
that was the worst day at lunch.
my kid doesn't even like chicken nuggets, and I've tried.
That's sad.
Because a lot of like cousins and other friends on the block and now friends from school like those stupid dino nuggets. Which
I do like dino nuggets.
I tried.
Like, I don't go out of my way.
I tried them this summer. My neighbor, one of the neighbors who takes the consumer snacks,
all the snacks,
made them for his kids, and I tried one, chicken nugget. And I go, this tastes worse than a chicken nugget. Because it's just flattened out into a bad T-Rex form. So it's smaller, thinner, and more breaded, and it just doesn't taste good.
There's ones from Sam's Club that I just bought a big bag. The Walmart brand Maker's Mark that they do at the Sam's Club. They have a bag that they're not like dino nuggets. They're actually like chicken chunk, but they're not strips. And each one tastes like dill pickle flavoring. So they resemble Chick-fil-A, and they're delicious. And I made those the other night in the air fryer. Those are the ones you want to look out for. Those are good.
Okay, I'll look for those. But again, right now I've tried different chicken nuggets.
She just doesn't like them. That's
we were
weird.
in a
That's
spot
like
where
standard.
one of her cousins had a McDonald's Happy Meal that comes with a 4-piece chicken nugget. Mm-hmm. So it's like, well, they're gonna like a McDonald's chicken nugget. Nope, didn't want it.
That's sad.
So didn't happen.
Standard food.
She had no interest in it. Okay, so there's that.
I've heard of the things that you've been feeding your kid, like when you guys go out to restaurants and dinners and stuff like that, and the food that she tries off your plate. So yeah, I think she has a little bit more refined palate.
Spoiled.
She's not a normal kid. She's entitled.
I can't have French
like last
onion
week's
soup
conversation
on my own because I have to share the cheese, the little breading crouton thing that flows.
She's like, what is this, fish stick? No, thank you.
Yeah.
Where's my Branzino?
Exactly. She still likes that pastina. I have to cook it in a chicken broth.
Oh, the kind that was hard to find?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just spoiled.
Okay, so chicken nuggets. All seals should be packed and served in a manner to foster independence. So in these little, they're labeled for them. I have to label the food every day. Mm-hmm. So what's for breakfast? What's for lunch? What's the snack? Okay. Kid only has 1 or 2 different things for breakfast. That's all she wants. She has these yogurt pouches that it's not like a Go-Gurt, that kind of thing. It's a expensive yogurt pouch.
It's like a squeezy pouch.
Yeah, squeezy pouch thing there. And it's usually like beets and berries or veggie mix, whatever stuff, or the banana strawberry ones. So like, that's what she has. Or on a rare occasion, she wants the Entenmann's muffins. The strawberry Entenmann's muffins.
Oh, yeah. I like those.
But doesn't even finish the pack. Like, I'll eat a couple of them, then good for the day. Snack, lunch, all that stuff. So they're all in these little Ziploc things and these bento box things. So that's easy for her to open and do what she wants to do. Preschoolers, toddlers, including children with special needs, are provided with 120 minutes or more active playtime. That doesn't apply. This is where this is the last one here I find hilarious. We strive to limit total screen time. Examples: TV and DVD viewing, computer use, to no more than 30 minutes for preschoolers per week.
Ooh, I think my daughter today alone just exceeded their probably month limit because she has just been glued to her TV.
Yeah, I would like to say in a perfect world that could be applied, but I've seen other people who just throw an iPad in front of their kids all the time. I mix it up a little bit. If nothing's going on or what have you, I'll give the iPad for a little bit, but it's heavily limited. Most of the time in her playroom when she's playing, we have the TV on there. She wants, like, she's watched the live action Encanto concert from the Hollywood Bowl for like the millionth time.
That's pretty cool though. I mean,
Gabby's Dollhouse, like she wants it on, so she'll watch for a little bit, but then goes and plays.
Yeah, it's like me when I work.
Yeah,
need something in the background.
Loves The Simpsons, doesn't know what's going on, but knows that because I watch it. Loves The Simpsons, and that's it. So it's like, all right, I understand why you want to cut down TV, but this school also has, they just bought a whole bunch of new Chromebooks and tablets for all the classes to use for certain projects and things. So obviously not in her level right now, but like when in kindergarten, they have things that do alphabets, that do drawing, that do all these other things in there. So it's just the way the world. It's not like when and I'm not trying to sound like old man, but it's not like when we were growing up where we watched TV because we could play with our toys, we could go outside, or we could watch TV. Those were your 3 options until video games came into your life. And that's what you would do
from there.
Because your parents would be like, it keeps them quiet, it keeps them away from me. Here's your Nintendo Entertainment System. Go downstairs and play with your brother. Go play with your friends. Do whatever you want to do. Mm-hmm. All right. What else do I want to show you?
That is pretty crazy that they sent a list of things they want you to do at home. Like, it's not a list of things that they're trying to implement in the school. Like, hey, this is what we're doing to help your child develop. Praise us. We're awesome. No, we're trying our best here, but you have to be a better parent.
It doesn't even say please or suggested.
It's just telling you what you should be doing.
It says, these are the standards and help us support the initiatives by implementing the following guidelines at home, because they do that at the school. Now, I'm not like fighting everything the schools are saying or doing. So
it's
like,
just this new territory for you, and you're not used to
all new. I just find it amusing. It's like I'm not lashing out at the school. I'm not attacking people that work at the school or any of that stuff. It's not like I have a problem with the teachers or anything. Not at all. This is all new to me. So when I see these guidelines, I go, I don't remember school being this complicated, but it is.
Nowadays they tell you about every fire drill they ever do.
I get those alerts.
I get emails about every, and I hate this. This is what annoys me about now having kids in school, is that you get the active shooter drills, and I'm like, wow, that's.
Well, I told you, like that first week,
garbage way to
we got an alert of lock in place. What is it called? Lock in place?
Lockdown or
whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
And then it just turned out because there was a police action near the school that they did that. So there's an app system now that the school uses, that the state uses. And there's things in here that let you know shit's happening in real time now. So the other day, I guess for the older students, there was a half day. The app went off letting you know that today is a half day. You pick up your kids in half an hour. I'm like, what if I was in the city working, and I had no idea? How is that giving me enough time to know that the kid has a half day?
Well, I mean, to be fair, they send out a calendar, so most half days are not surprises. Like, you should know about them in theory.
Yeah, I know there's one coming up in a couple weeks that I'm aware of, but everything's way different than when we were going to school. All right, moving on. Before I get into this FBI scam stuff here, did you have anything that you wanted to talk about? Anything pressing?
Nothing really. Like, it's been like I said, I was talking to you before this thing. It's like we have work stuff happening this week, so I've just been focusing on getting all that done. I'm, got to be a part of things now that I've, moved into this position that I'm in at work. So like, I'm just been trying to figure that out. Being in Arizona, you don't need pants. Like, I'm wearing shorts 90% of the time.
Don't you hate pants?
I had to go buy pants. You know what I mean? Like, it was such a weird feeling. And like, I got to go buy like nice pants to be part of this graduation for the school I work for. And then I got to go to this mixer thing. So I'm like, I'm sure they don't want me showing up in shorts. So I had to buy new jeans, and it's weird settling into those kinds of things and having to be an adult, where instead I'm sitting here getting this in the mail before the show. I got the 1960s Batmobile Lego set. That's what I want to do. Exactly. I don't want to have to go buy pants, but here we are, being an adult. So that's basically how my week's been. Like you said, like, you've been quiet. It's like, yeah, once I'm done with work, man, my brain. You're saying,
it's Legos in the, no, it's work and the kids have, no, it's Legos. You've been playing with Legos all this time.
No, well, because the kids are on fall break. So like, limiting screen time, I can't do that. I have to work all day. So
let me guess, you clear out the living room, you rip the end of the box, you dump all the bags on the floor, and it's just a big family hootenanny putting Legos together while watching movies. That
would be fun. Actually, I have a couple of small sets that we could do that with. I haven't done that yet. Wesley wants to try to do some Lego stuff. They got new Fortnite Legos that just got released October 1st.
Right.
He's into Fortnite, so I might get him a set that he can put together and kind of help him through. But yeah, for the most part, it's just been boring over here. Hot weather, nothing fun. Just gearing up for what to do for Halloween.
And the day your air conditioning goes out, all those Legos melt down into one.
Could you imagine?
Multicolor puddle.
Just giant plastic puddles.
And I video conference Jordan. He's like, I'm standing up to my knees in the original cast of MASH.
Is that Klinger?
Terrible place to live. All right. Some scams to let you know about. So I get this message from my mom. She sees an email and she goes, this is something new. And usually if she doesn't know what it is, she calls me, because she won't do anything, because I used to yell at her for years for reacting to emails and things, and it said, stop responding to stuff. Don't give these things out. So now she's so the other way that she calls me up all the time, or she sends me photos or screen grabs. What do you think of this? Whatever. So I see this one email, and it's something to do with her bank, and it's a QR code.
Oh.
And it says, scan here. Scan here to access the account and what have you. And she goes, I've never seen this. Should I do it? I go, no, don't. Ever. Never. QR codes are great and the worst, because now there's no barrier of clicking a link and then being able to back out of a window. A QR code just opens everything. So, you got to go through. I'm looking through Reddit. I'm looking through there's some scammer channels that I follow that have Reddits and everything. So you go and you look through them. And I'm starting to see these QR scams that are happening now. Apparently, it was happening a lot for people with Facebook, where they would send a message. They would clone a profile and send a message to, through emails. It's like, hey, I had to change my Facebook account to this, whatever there. Can you scan this thing here so that we can access, access my account or be friends again or something along those lines, right? What this does is you scan the QR account. It takes you to a dummy page, and that QR account unlocked whatever in your phone. So now they have access to your phone. So it had nothing to do with your bank account, had nothing to do with a Facebook login or whatever. This QR code that you scan sends you to a dummy page, or sends you even to Facebook front page, whatever. That's all it does is redirect you. But in that QR code opens up something that has access to your phone now. So they can start going through your phone and doing all of this shit here. Kistic in the chat saying it's baffling how easy it is to do this. Yeah, it's insane. Jesus. So this was a new one. I had no idea about the QR code thing, but until my mom had said, could you take a look at this for me? And then just going down, a couple of wormholes between one of the channels I watch is called Scammer Payback. And it's usually him just...
So to do with the blue hair? Or
yeah, it's him where he's fucking with guys over in Pakistan and India.
Come on, your name is not Ted Koresh.
Yeah. So, but they have other things. When they're not doing the big scams like that, they have other little subdivisions of what they do, and go through their channels, through Reddit, things like that. If you just put in a little work, which sucks that you have to do that now, but if you put in a little work, you usually can find a paper trail of these scams and can start recognizing them right away. So the QR code was new to me. So I wanted to put that out there to be aware. If anytime you get an email that says, here, scan this QR code to access, contact whoever, if it's Facebook or your company or whatever, contact them and say, are you trying to give, some access to somebody through a QR code? Chances are they're not. So look out for that. The other is this video here I want to show you. This is my friend Carla Marie. She used to work in radio here in New York. She's been out in Seattle doing radio for years. She has a show called Carla Marie and Anthony is their show. You can find them on YouTube, on Twitch. They stream live every day. They're a decent-sized podcast. They're pretty successful. So she posts this today about having to contact the FBI over somebody making these profiles of her, contacting her contacts or whatever to solicit things. So here, take a look at this.
How's your day going? Because I just completed a report for the FBI's Internet Crime Complaint Center, or IC3, because someone is now impersonating me with my full name and photo, emailing influencers, content creators, podcasters, journalists, meteorologists, anyone, asking them to be on the morning show podcast and say it's a digital live stream or a Facebook live stream. Then they connect with them via Zoom, and the hacker asks for access to their Facebook because it's part of the live stream for them to be able to do that. And then they take control of the person's Facebook, lock that person out, and post malware links to the person's Facebook. There have been several people that have lost access, and it's so fucked. And yeah, but now I got the FBI involved.
So
that's crazy.
Yeah. So now they're doing it through Zoom links and stuff.
Yeah, see, that stuff always bothers me. Today, I actually had to meet up with my IT department because they were upgrading some of our security software for my work computer. And even then, I was wary because he's like, okay, I need you to go to this site, type in this, okay, click on my name, and then I can control your computer. And at some point, I'm sitting there going, what if this guy was not legit? Like, he's calling me from my company's phone. He's calling me from this. Like, there are so many things that people can clone now. Maybe it wasn't him. And I'm just like sitting there going, that always bothered me because like I'm going to give access to somebody and it's going to be an issue because this was like a newer IT guy that I've never worked with. So I'm sitting there going, all right, Chris, if that's your real name, like, I don't know. Just stuff like this freaks me out. I don't like having any, I mean, at this point, improve my credit. I don't care. Do what you got to do. But no, I don't like that, especially for like my grandparents, my mom, stuff like that. Like, I would hope they are smart enough not to do these things, but they're not. They just click on shit.
Well, it took a lot.
At least your mom's asking you now.
Well, because I had to browbeat it into her. And my mom's one of the sweetest people in the world. And I always felt horrible when I'd have to scream at her. It's like, what are you doing? Don't put any information there. Don't click this link. Don't whatever. She got a thing a while back, something about her banking stuff. And she called... I forgot her personal. She has like a personal bank manager or something, and you gotta call that person. And the guy goes,
"That's old school."
And the guy goes, "Well, it's Florida,
no, I know
down there, and that's where all the money is." So they, as soon as she started saying this, and he goes, "Close out of it right now. Don't type anything. Don't send anything. Don't whatever." And he's like, "We would never ask you to do that. Nobody's gonna call you for this stuff here." There's a whole system in place where if anybody from the bank calls you, they have a verification thing that they'll hang up and they call you back again to give that thing, whatever it is. He goes, do not do any of that stuff. So she knows it's been forcefully ingrained in her. Any kind of email that's asking some kind of financial question or a login issue, contact me. Let me look at it before you go to anywhere else.
Did you ever end up watching The Beekeeper with Jason Statham?
The Beekeeper.
Because literally this whole situation is legitimately how the movie starts, where someone thinks they're talking to their bank. They're talking to a call center type. They give up the bank. All their accounts get cleared out. And then Jason Statham has to go beat shit up and blow up buildings. Like, that's literally the entirety of how this whole movie gets started, is because someone said, I'm going to let you, have access to my bank account, and then everything gets cleared out because they think they're talking to their bank
to real people.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's just, it's crazy that is so prevalent, and it's annoying. Like, I can't go a day without, I think I get a text from, oh, your package has been delayed by this. Please click the link so we can get your update. Like, no. Someone sold my phone number on some list, and now I'm getting stupid texts. And thankfully, I know I'm just going to get rid of it.
Oh, speaking of stupid texts, I got another political thing. I forgot about that.
I always like when you get those. Pledge, damn it. Pledge!
I forgot to crop this one to bring it over here, so I'll have to read it to you.
Okay.
It says in big letters, trending. And then it says, Catholic Vote launched a nationwide ad revealing Kamala funded child gender mutilation. Please donate $250,000 to match.
Oh, God,
sorry. Please donate for a $250,000 match.
No, thank you.
I'm like, really? She funded child gender mutilation?
Yeah.
Okay.
That,
like, personally? Or is there a government policy in place for... look, I know they have that fight over care for... what is the thing that they're arguing about with underage kids for going through...
Gender dysmorphia.
So, that kind of stuff for that kind of thing. I know that's a political issue right now. And for as big as an issue people think it is, it's not that big of an issue because it's only the people online that seem to be the ones having a real fucking issue with all of this stuff, meaning that they're not letting gender affirming care. That's what it is. They're blocking gender affirming care and these other things. It's like, in real life, I don't hear anybody talking about this, pro or con.
No.
known. It's just shit that shows up online randomly says this. But I don't hear anybody talking about this. Like, I hear them talking about other issues. The longshoreman strike going on, gas prices, FEMA, the election stuff, the vice presidential debate, all of these things. I hear those things in different places. I hear nothing about that shit. So,
nope.
Not saying it's not something to be discussed or handled, but it's not as big a point as everyone's making it. Excuse me. Still getting over this cold.
See, much like Beetlejuice, the second we start talking any kind of political things, Frankie Bronson shows up after weeks of not being around. It's like he knew.
Yeah, I know.
It's like, what?
He loves to stir the shit, as you would say there.
Welcome back, Frankie. It's been a while.
Let's get into some actual news stuff since we haven't did. Actually, no, Jordan, here with what we're not going to be talking about in the news.
Still going to do that. It's been going on. Like you said, the vice presidential debate happened on Tuesday, and much like JD Vance's answer about how if Trump won or lost in 2020, we're not going to talk about it.
Yeah,
who cares?
We've moved on. We're looking forward.
Going forward. Don't talk. Wait,
whose slogan was "Go Forward"? Was that Obama's or Hillary's?
Oh, I don't know.
I know it was a Democratic candidate that had the "Go Forward."
That's always "Go Forward." No, I'm sure.
But I'm just saying to use that answer, which has been a Democratic slogan forever.
That is pretty.
That he just goes, "We're going forward. We're not looking at the back."
Plagiarize it.
What's the other thing? The dumb thing Kamala says. Unbothered or
unburdened.
Unburdened.
Yeah.
If he quoted that would have
just
been.
went unburdened.
If he quoted, look. All right, we got to talk the debate.
Doesn't matter. We're not going to talk about it.
No, we're going to talk a tiny bit of it.
See, this is why we can't do this.
The amount of people online that were amazed seeing this debate, and the older people having to say, "No, this is what it used to be." Up until the last 20 years, it used to be like this.
It seemed to be pretty even back and forth.
You didn't have to agree with either person, like that side or that side, whatever. But they conducted themselves properly.
It was relatively
respectful for the situation. They shook hands at the beginning. Nice. At the end, as it was fading into going to cut the panelists or whatever, there was one thing where they're introducing their wives to each other.
Right.
I'm like, they're being civil. There's civility here. That's what's happening. You don't see it with the other thing.
No.
Had he said that whatever thing that she said, unburdened, whatever, then that's a wrestling promo.
Oh,
that would have been a fucking like a CM Punk pipe bomb to drop in that situation. Not saying it needed to be there, but if it had, would have been interesting. A lot of people were surprised. Like some people were like, "This was boring." It's like, no, I want it to go back to being boring. I'm tired of all of this shit. Mm-hmm. All of it.
Oh, that's weird. They're laying out their policies and they're not yelling at each other about eating cats and dogs.
They
weird.
Sternly disagree using their words.
Right.
Yeah. Funny. Anyways. All right. What else are we not talking
Speaking of words, a 165-page legal brief about January 6th got released yesterday, Wednesday, October 2nd. Jack Smith described a slew of conversations suggesting that the then president knew his claims of election fraud were spurious. Big words. And that Smith laid out evidence that Trump's sole objective was to stay in power. No shit. Who cares?
That's not going to do anything affecting the election.
Not one person's going to care.
The whole purpose of it was because they had roadblocks by the Supreme Court that he had certain limited presidential immunity for official acts and official things. This was just rephrasing it in a way to say, well, he was a private citizen as a candidate doing this instead of being the president. It's not going to affect the election. At this point right now, very little is affecting the election. Everybody's already...
We're 35 days away.
Picked who they're going to vote for, if they're going to vote at all. I know you're not allowed to say that, but everyone have to say go out and vote. I agree, go out and vote. But there's people who aren't going to go out and vote because they're sick of all of this shit.
Well, it doesn't matter.
It's not going to affect anything. And even if it was damning, you can't get it into court before the election. It's not going to happen.
It's the court of public opinion at this point. No one cares. Everyone's got their votes in. We're done.
Yep. Go ahead. Moving on.
Anyway, Garth Brooks is in the news, being sued for sexual assault.
1 hour commercial-free Garth Brooks rock block
See,
coming at you.
We finally tied it in. An hour and 38 minutes in. That's why you got a Garth Brooks. He's being sued for sexual assault by a former makeup artist in an incident that happened in 2019. He's accused of lifting the victim up, turning her upside down, and assaulting her sexually.
Where was this?
In LA in 2019.
In a hotel room?
Hotel room, yes.
So
upside down and inside out.
Wait.
Nope.
So
no. Don't even try.
That doesn't make any sense. He picked her. Wait, he physically picked her up, turned her upside down.
Yes.
To penetrate her.
Yes. You do the math on that. No, we're not going to talk about it.
So it was like a standing.
I don't know. I don't know until how the pictures come out.
Okay, I need a diagram. I need something.
Yep. So we'll
also
worry about that
seen
later.
in the room was a lot of boots and chaps, cowboy hats, spurs, and a lot of go. He had white in his knuckles, gold in his buckle. It was just a rodeo going on in there.
Then the thunder rolls and we're done.
But we're not talking about that. Go on.
WNBA. Speaking of things that we never would talk about, even if
it was relevant, which it's not.
The WNBA playoffs are in high gear. Ratings are down now, though, that Caitlin Clark's team had failed to advance past the first round. Who cares?
Yeah, she's the main thing anybody wants to see or talk about there. And you can keep trying to push Angel Reese all you want. I'm sure she's a fantastic player. Maybe. I don't know. I don't watch it. Her podcast sucks a bag of shit. Shout out to Who Are These Podcasts? They did a review of her podcast, and they didn't even have to be critical of it. It just stood out on its own. At one point, they had fake microphones, bedazzled microphones that they were talking to each other, but you saw the plugs for the XLR cables that were not plugged in.
Yeah,
and you're like, this whole thing is just garbage.
Yeah, who cares? But we're not talking about it.
All right.
Let's move on to more important news. Arizona in the news for setting a September heat record last Saturday at 117 degrees. I don't care. I'm not talking about it because I made stew last night to combat the fact that it's way too freaking hot around this place.
What did you make?
Beef stew with some carrots, onions, celery,
typical.
potatoes.
Okay.
Just normal beef stew. Homemade bread, dipped it in. Oh, so good. Watch Clash of the Titans with the kids.
If you have a place that can do fresh made sourdough bread, to go with a beef stew is unbelievable.
Fantastic. I'm ignoring the fact that Arizona and some of the western states are going through a heat wave in October. By cooking stews, soups, and other various foods that are just comforting to the soul.
I'm not trying to belittle the hurricane because I have some clips I want to show you. But could you imagine if a hurricane like that hit the desert areas of where you live?
We'd die.
There'd be
just too much flooding.
There'd be nowhere for the water to go. I mean, and there's plenty of places for that water to go on the East Coast that just devastated so many towns.
We can barely handle monsoon season. I couldn't imagine a hurricane running through here.
Could you imagine having a storm like that, and then after the storm goes and the rapids pull back, and you have a water line in the Grand Canyon, like when people go into their basements to watch the property damage to see where the water line crested, and you're just going around the Grand Canyon. It's like this filled up about 2/3 of the Grand Canyon with this hurricane.
Yeah, that would be bad. And the last piece of news that we're not going to talk about: the Utah Hockey Club. The former Arizona Coyotes team. Their first goal.
About that.
No, we're going to not talk about the fact that their first goal in their very first game, in their debut, was against themselves. Serves them right.
Yeah, I think I saw that clip where they were skating after because they had pulled the goalie for some reason. And it just went into there. So did that count? That actually counted?
For the other team. Yeah.
But if you accidentally knock it into your own goal like that, it counts as a...
It's called an own goal.
Good.
And it's actually a stat that's been measured.
Moving to stupid Utah.
Yes, suck it. Anyway, and that's what we're not talking
Jordan's
about.
You gave some light to Jordan where he was crying nonstop because you took his hockey team away.
It's funny because every time something comes up like on X or on Instagram where they're saying, Utah Hockey Club, I block that account because I just really don't want to see it. Eventually, it's going to just get off my timeline. But yes, I'm in mourning right now, so... whatever.
All right. Moving on. We got to give you some updates here because right before we came on today to do the show, you have to be aware in this country, these United States, that there was a Dockworkers union strike that happened.
Yeah.
And went into effect this past Monday at midnight going into Tuesday Eastern Standard Time. And it shut down all the major ports on the East Coast, the Eastern Seaboard, and in the Gulf of Mexico. So it was going from Texas all the way up through Maine. All these major ports were closed, except for military usage and cruise ships. They said that they would stay open to help the military, and it wasn't fair to the people who were paid for these vacations that they weren't allowed to get on the cruise ships and ever, so they were still working in that capacity. Everything else, all these tankers that were coming in that had the big, what are those big things? Why am I spacing on it? Essentially the lockers where they traffic people.
Yeah, those
in
big
the
storage boxes.
Yeah, those storage boxes. Yeah, so all those were just
Shipping
sitting
crates.
out. They're sitting in the Gulf. They're sitting out in the Atlantic Ocean. They can't come in.
Cars, new cars that were being shipped in from all over.
And so anyway, that all goes down. Right before it was announced that it looks like that they've come to some kind of agreement. I haven't checked since we've been on if that's still happening. But here's what's been happening. The union representing 45,000 striking U.S. dock workers in the East and Gulf ports have reached a deal to suspend their strike until January 15th to provide time to negotiate a new contract, according to the AP. So that's not hearsay. That seems to be fact. What else do we have here with that strike? Governor Ron DeSantis of the state of Florida announced that he'll be deploying the Florida National Guard to ports impacted by the strike to maintain order and, if possible, resume operations which would otherwise have been shut down. So, depending on how backed up Florida is, that might not be a terrible idea for other states to send the National Guard in to just help double time it to get it back open. If because who knows what 3 days of or 2 days of being closed, what the damage is with all of that.
Yeah. I did see that everyone in my area decided to panic almost immediately. The second that happened, all the Costco's around me, people started buying up all the toilet paper, all the meats, all the food. Those
video clips have been going everywhere of people just mocking people
in ridiculous.
Costco buying all the toilet paper.
Well, and it's funny because I don't think they understand toilet paper is manufactured in the U.S. Mm-hmm. Nothing's coming in from overseas.
They did that too. Remember,
as far as your Charmin, you morons.
I remember vividly when I knew things were really going to get fucked up during the initial COVID close down.
Right.
I came home from work. It was a Tuesday night, and I was watching network news, and some representative, I don't know, some official government figure was talking about the pandemic, that how things were going to close down, and that you're going to start seeing. They had already started saying that masks and gloves were going to become scarce, and that towards the end of the thing, and he said, and toilet paper. And I remember we were all sitting there eating, and we just looked at each other and that's new information that wasn't said before. Mm-hmm. And I looked around. I'm like, should I go to Target now?
We got to go get toilet paper.
Just get some things. And they said, yeah. My family was like, yeah. So I just went. I didn't go crazy. I went and I went over. I picked up a couple extras. That was it. The next day, all over the news, national shelves are empty. People were buying bottled water. They bought all the toilet paper was gone. All of this stuff was here. And I go, well, look, we didn't know the extent of what this pandemic thing was going to be at that time. So we're like, what is going on here? Now we're past that point. Now we know how these things work. And you're right. It's made in the United States. If the trucking union had shut down, then
that would be different.
Panic. The longshoremen, they're saying, oh, you're not going to get Japanese electronics. You're not going to get car imports. You're not going to get food and fruit imports from South America, which is oranges and bananas. Those kind of things are what, and you can't go stock up on bananas because they're turned brown in 3 days. And then what do you have? You've got nothing.
Banana bread.
That is fantastic.
I was going to say, there's always banana bread.
So maybe that's the thing. During the pandemic, everybody was doing videos of learning how to make sourdough and grow the sourdough cultures. During this strike, everyone's making banana bread. That's the big thing to do right now on for this strike happening.
Now, I did see footage of the union rep. The guy, he looks like a dick. He's got the typical, East Coast accent. He's getting all mad, and he's like, look, you guys didn't pay attention to us. This is what we're going to do. If the president, I guess, could have enforced some union law to basically say, okay, we are going to negotiate, but you have to go back to work for 90 days. And we have to work this out over the 90 days. And he goes, yeah, you can enforce that. However, we don't have to work that hard. So you can do that instead of really negotiating. And you'll get half the work done, but it's still going to hurt you. We can cripple this economy.
Here's what I don't know where to stand on this issue. Because, I'm in this pocket of the Northeast that I'm in. A lot of ports like immediately near me. So there's a lot of people around here that work in that that industry, that field, if you will, that this affects a lot of these families and what have you. Now, the unions are supposed to be there to help out all these people, but we all know over time unions can be out of control and cause more damage than they're supposed to be helping people. This all just...
How I got my dental plan.
This all came about pretty fast for the commoner, like, for us that don't know these situations. The 6-year contract was up. This came out to us like out of nowhere, even though they've been working towards and against this. But to everybody else, this is new. Like, we don't know what to do with this information right now because you're getting the guy who's the head of this union painted as a savior by a lot of people and a lot of outlets, but then you're seeing the other side of it where a lot of them are saying he makes over $900,000 a year. He's got a 76-foot yacht. He's got this mansion with 5 cars. He's got all these other things here, and there's quotes of him saying he's threatening to cripple the economy because I guess it was there was a deal that was already out that was a 50% increase in their salary, and they wanted 75% and the promise of no automation and to remove existing automation on these ports. Now, I still don't know. I'm not fully read up on all of this stuff, so I don't know where to lean on this. But if it turns out this guy really is an asshole and this union is really just out of hand with all of this shit here, do what Reagan did in the 80s and fire all the air traffic control people and bring in all new people, all new stuff, and let the message be known that this is not going to happen anymore. You're not going to threaten the American public and try to attempt to cripple the economy because of personal gain like this. Now, that's that one side. The other side, I don't know. I'm still figuring that out.
Right. And I need to look at all the details and see, because I'm for people getting a fair wage, doing what they do. I'm not going to ever do those kinds of jobs. No. Those are the manly men. Those are the strong women doing all these jobs. I'm sitting here talking to a microphone, twiddling my thumbs. I'm not going to do that job. So get paid what you can get paid. However, optically, you're coming off of the worst hurricane, the second deadliest hurricane in the last 50 years, and then you decide, hey, we're going to go on strike. Maybe you postpone it a few days, give it a week to breathe a little bit, see what you can do. I don't think anything's coming in from overseas to help out, but what if it was?
Yeah, I saw that too, where I saw some...
Just push it off a little.
I saw some news pieces where they were saying, while the southeastern part of the country has been devastated and we need a time where we need more hands on deck, more people coming in to help, more people providing supplies and comfort and just ways to help people get their lives back on track so they can rebuild. Yeah, you're right. You don't know what those are coming into those ports that could help on this stuff.
Well, and it's the same part of the country that's been affected too. Like, it's not like, it's the West Coast ports and then this hurricane happened on the East Coast.
This is the Southeast where you're getting the Gulf and the East Coast ports all go for this area. Exactly. It was just kind of shitty too. This whole thing happens is like, no, we're still going to strike. We're still going to do all of this stuff here at this worst possible moment.
Me.
So let's transition over to, I might as well show you something to cheer you up before we get out, before we go to break.
Please do.
It is something funny. It's not meant to be funny, but it is funny.
Okay.
Out of another separate terrible situation. So the other day, Iran decided to launch an onslaught of missiles on Tel Aviv. And I think the number was something like 800 rockets or something they shot.
I saw some of the footage. It looked like you were shooting one of those like fireworks things, like Roman candles.
It looked like the old game Missile Command.
Oh, I love that game.
Right? So you're just watching footage of, and one of the NBC reporters was on a ledge or a hotel balcony or something like that where they were doing their live, because you could get Tel Aviv all behind them.
Right.
And he's turned looking this way, and I'm yelling at them. I'm like, turn the fucking camera, because he's looking this way. Right. And he's describing what's going on. I'm like, you're live. Move the camera off your fixed mount and show what's going on, not him pointing and describing it. So finally they did. They moved it. And you're just watching it come down, and you're seeing the streaks and then the explosions of where the Iron Dome is shooting and trying to take off there. Now, it didn't get all of them, but it got most of them. And a lot of hits hit an Air Force base, I think, in Tel Aviv, military based at least. And there were 0 deaths. A few minor injuries, but no deaths.
Okay. That's a good thing.
Okay. For a terrible situation that's going on, that's the best outcome, I guess, you could hope for in that particular instance, right?
Right.
You see tons of shitty people online saying, see, it is possible to hit military targets and everything without death to civilians and hospitals and children, and just shitting all over Israel. Now, look, I'm going to preference this. Up to a point, I was with Israel on a lot of these things. I think it has gone overboard. I understand why. I'm not denying it, but there's got to be some kind of drawback here a little bit. You know, everyone's got to step back for a bit and reassess this thing. But it is what it is. We're not involved with this in the sense of planning this stuff out. We're
I was going to say our money seems to say otherwise.
But we're not leading the charge with this military operation. We did have a hand. The military was ordered to shoot down the rockets while they were happening. So you had destroyers in the whatever that ocean is right there. I don't know if that's still the Mediterranean or not. Was shooting and taking down a lot of Iranian missiles. I know Jordan was shooting stuff down. We were shooting stuff down. Israel was shooting stuff down.
I'm not involved in this.
So, that being said, the shitty people online, they were like, see, this can happen and Israel's terrible and stuff. It's like, no, you fucking idiots. These people are purposely hiding in schools and hospitals and all of these things to cause civilian damage, to blame the other country, saying, see, look what they did. Look what America's doing. Look what Israel's doing, what have you. They're the one, these people that you're defending are the ones that are hiding and causing this to happen. So it's a very difficult situation, and it's not good that it's escalated to this point, right? Where are you going with all this? I thought you had something happy to show us. I do.
Right. Like I'm waiting for you to just, switch gears a bit.
This is unintentionally hilarious. So, when all is said and done, they surveyed the military outfit in Tel Aviv. No deaths reported. Couple of minor injuries, no deaths, some destruction, but you can rebuild, you can do all of these things. And Israel's now threatening the entire Middle East that there'll be, blind hatred going into all of this shit now. Well, turns out there was one casualty from this operation. It did not happen in Israel, did not happen in Jordan, didn't happen in Lebanon. It didn't happen in Iran. Care to guess where this one casualty happened?
I don't know. Egypt?
Palestine.
Sure. Of course.
Now, a missile did hit in Palestine, but not in the way you think. Take a look at this.
Holy shit. That is... I feel so bad for laughing at that.
This is the equivalent of hearing about when somebody has a big blue ice cluster come through their house and it turns out like they jettison a toilet from an airplane.
Oh, God.
What you in the audio audience didn't see or hear during that moment of silence was that it's a closed circuit camera just showing a street corner. A guy is out on the street, and the missile didn't explode like the warhead, I guess, on the front did, but the casing of the rest of the missile just fell to the ground like when you
almost
shoot off
straight down.
It like when you shoot off certain fireworks, you know, and after all the explosions are done, you look around and you see the corpses of the fireworks laying all around. That's essentially what happened here. As this guy's just standing there walking through a night,
checking his cell phone.
Right? And out of nowhere, just a bomb casing comes down and drops on the guy. As Comedy Tragedy is saying in the chat, like a Wile E. Coyote Acme bomb.
This is the equivalent of like you're walking and you see a shadow coming down to hit you, and it's like a grand piano. Like this is.
You look up and you open up a tiny little umbrella and hold up a sign that says "Yipe," and then this thing falls down on top of you.
Oh my God. I hate saying this. Play it again. I want to see it again.
Okay, we're going to play it again here. So he's walking and boom.
That's... Part of me wants to think this is fake, that it's been doctored, because how fast that missile casing falls on this guy. It almost feels like it was sped up.
Yeah.
Play it again.
Okay. So this Iranian missile fell on this
Jesus
guy
Christ.
in Palestine.
Like, this can't be real.
Again, didn't explode. Didn't cause damage to everything else. A very, very isolated incident where defective casing of the missile just fell very haphazardly onto a guy on the street. Let's watch it one more time.
One more time.
There we go.
Jesus.
And scene.
Beth in the well, I'm gonna go to hell because all I could hear is "Because You Had a Bad Day" song in my head, and that's exactly what that song is reserved for.
Or do the overused Curb Your Enthusiasm music.
The credits roll up. Oh.
So
I don't want to laugh at that. That poor man's dead.
If you don't laugh, you just die inside.
Yeah, I almost have to.
You got to find a way to do that. Well, I'm going to play something that'll cheer us up after that. Then, if that wasn't enough to cheer us up, my favorite scene from Titanic.
Every time, makes me happy.
Do you want something to cheer you up after the scene from Titanic?
Yeah, because that brought me down a little bit.
Okay, let's check out some of
Lift me up. Lift up my spirits.
My favorite
scene. Come on, Josh Groban.
My favorite scene involving Kite Man.
I love Kite Man so much.
That poor girl kept flying into the punch bowl.
That was from the same episode, right? Because I remember, I think I saw in somewhere else there was another incident of that. I had to find that because
I put them all together here. You can take a look. That poor girl getting beat up at that bar mitzvah.
Good stuff.
Bob the building. He's a building. Bob the building. Oh no.
There we go.
Oh no.
We're in October. We're allowed to make those comments now.
Right. Yeah. We're past the memorial stage of.
Let's take a break. When we come back, we will do segment 2, television movie streaming updates, all of the stuff that's going on. Minor spoiler. There's not a lot that's going to distract you going into the election. It's kind of a void. But we'll fill you in coming up next.
More, it's Eric Nagel.
It's Eric Nagel.
Next.
It's Eric Nagel. Follow the show on all social medias at It's Eric Nagel for ways to watch or listen to the show, both live and on demand. Go to itsericnagel.com.
Hey, it's Ken Jeong, and you're listening to It's Eric Nagel.
Segment 2 of the show, Eric and Jordan here telling you about television, movies, streaming updates, all the things going on, entertainment that you need to be aware of or to avoid completely as we head into the holiday seasons all month. I've seen all the lists everywhere. Every platform has their 30 days of horror movies for Hulu, For I think Roku had a list out there. No, not Roku.
That's weird.
Hulu had one. Max,
I know,
HBO Max had one.
I know, the Family Channel used to do one.
Shudder has one.
Yeah, Shudder's a good one.
All for the Halloween stuff. And then as soon as Halloween's done, then you'll start getting, here's the suggestive
Hallmark
movies for Thanksgiving, because right after Thanksgiving, you get the Lifetime, the Hallmark, all of those rom-com Christmas things.
See, you said suggestive, not suggested, so I'm sitting there going, ooh, sexy Christmas.
Sexy Halloween, too. I mean, depending on the movies that you watch, it could be anything. We do start off this segment talking about things that we are currently watching. Jordan, what have you been watching?
I started off my holiday viewing with a classic, a 1991 version of The Addams Family, Raul Julia, Angelica Houston.
Fantastic.
Such a good movie. Still
Both
holds
of them
up.
Are. It's rare. It's rare when, look, that portion of the franchise in the 90s was only 2 movies ever.
Right.
And it's rare when you have a movie and the sequel be equally as good.
Well, and it's funny because I guess that first one was Barry Sonnenfeld's first directorial debut. He went on to do Men in Black and all those other movies. And I'm sitting there going, what a hit. What a way to come out the gate with something just fantastic.
I love the Addams Family movie.
I love the first movie. It's a Christmas movie, but it's also a good, just fun, dark and whatever movie. I needed something to watch.
One of the best lines. Would you like to buy some Girl Scout cookies? Are they made with real Girl Scouts?
Love that. And she comes back for the second movie where she goes, I'll play the victim. And Wednesday goes, all your life. And I'm like, so good.
Oh, that was the Thanksgiving play, right?
That's the Thanksgiving play. Yes. So I love both movies.
I think that first movie, the Girl Scout stuff that was in that, I think that was taking a shot at Troop Beverly Hills.
Maybe.
It seemed very similar to that. But anyway, go watch those movies. Those fantastic.
Yeah,
you saw the first one. You rewatched it.
I watched another movie that I'm not going to get too deep into it because we were going to have Giddles wants to talk about it. And he was going to come in tonight. He can't do it. So
he ain't
maybe
here,
next
so
week,
you can talk about it.
Well, next week, I think maybe we'll get more in depth because I think this is a movie that it just came out of nowhere for me. Had no idea anything about it. All of a sudden, I kept seeing little clips of it. Didn't realize what this movie was about. Giddles went and saw it in the theater. He told me all about it. This one's called The Substance. This is Demi Moore. I'm trying to think. Margaret Qualley, who is a young actress. She's been around in a lot of things. You would recognize her. She is the daughter of Andy McDowell.
Dennis Quaid's in this?
Dennis Quaid is in it.
I enjoyed him.
It's very small cast. This is about a woman who's aging, turns 50.
She's in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
But she's Andy McDowell's daughter.
Oh, really?
Which, yeah. So she's in this movie.
They're going to have her do Groundhog's Day 2?
That would be fantastic.
Okay.
So the idea of this movie is the woman, Demi Moore plays a woman who had a very popular aerobics channel and was all popular. Everyone loved her. She turns 50. She's older. She gets fired because she's just too old now. So she's one of those aging starlets that can't stand the fact that that's happening. She gets, gets into all kinds of stuff and then gets offered a way to basically split into the best version of herself using what's called the substance or this chemical. She does it.
Wait, physically splits into 2 versions or mentally?
Yes, physically.
Okay.
And this is why you can't watch this movie. Me and Giddles both agree this movie is too disgustingly gross and vile for you to watch.
Okay.
So she literally split, like her body rips open, her back splits open, but she basically has like a younger version of herself come out, and that's Margaret Qualley's character.
Okay.
So the idea is you're splitting the time. She gets the younger version and has to take this chemical, and to make sure she regenerates, she has to split time with Demi Moore. At some point, the younger version doesn't want to do that. Demi Moore starts aging rapidly and grossly, and there's a lot of weird body horror and blood and guts, and it's disgusting. This movie is absolutely disgusting, but it is a fantastic movie.
Yeah, no.
And basically, I know you wouldn't watch it.
Not for me.
But it is a huge commentary on how we view people who are aging in the entertainment business, how we view beauty standards and things like that. It is absolutely disgusting. The ending is gross and full of just the worst of the worst. Think David Cronenberg style body horror, but it's really good. No, it's really good though. Like you should. No, I'm not telling you to watch it. You shouldn't watch it. If you out there can handle these kinds of movies, the substance is fantastic, and I feel like it will. I don't know if it's going to earn any mainstream awards, but it's going to be talked about for years. Like Demi Moore, fantastic in this movie. Like it is just such a good movie. It was out of left field for me. It is gross. Yeah. It's disgusting, like Terrifier level gross, but it's really good. Like it's really, really good.
All right.
Like they wrapped a really good story around something disgusting.
Well, the right season to put that movie out. So
correct. Yeah. And then I've been watching
theaters right now.
It's in theaters right now.
Okay.
Yeah. Again, if you can handle that kind of stuff, check it out. It's really good, but you're not the type, so you don't. And then I watched the 4th episode of Agatha All Along.
I did too.
Which I like. And I know we're kind of split on how much we like it.
It was too
and
hokey.
What we don't. Again, hokey. I think what they're doing is the WandaVision type of thing, where every episode is going to be like a different fun little thing that they're doing.
Yeah,
I'm interested in what the overall story is.
This one was too hokey. It's like, oh, the devil's in the music. That's what it is. And now they're wearing 60s, 70s acid rock clothing, and you're like, okay, this is a bit much, but whatever.
Yeah. What are you watching?
There was a little bit of a reveal at the end.
Yes.
That's it.
I mean,
that's it.
I'm interested. Overall story, I'm interested to see where they're going with
How many episodes are in this season? Because we're at 4 already.
It ends on Halloween night. 2 episodes are on Halloween. So 1 episode a week up until Halloween. Halloween has 2. So how many weeks do we have left? Like 4 weeks?
1, 2, 3, 4. So 5. So 9 episodes?
So it's only 9 episodes?
Okay. All right.
So yeah, 2 on Halloween, 1 a week until then.
To be honest, I kind of wish they were all out at once. And it's not because from eager anticipation, like, oh my God, I love this. It's more of, I think I would have liked this more if I'm watching it continuously.
I think what's neat about it, though, is that because they've released it at the right spot. I mean, it's Halloween season. You got all this stuff to come out. I mean, having the season or series or whatever, how they're ending it, end on Halloween is pretty smart. So, and the marketing for it is fantastic. Like they've been doing a lot of really silly, fun, out of the box marketing for these episodes and this series. So, I mean, good on them. I don't know what the numbers are if everyone fell off. I know the internet's going to complain about everything, of course, but I don't care. I like it. I think Aubrey Plaza is interesting. I don't know what her deal is. She said a few things that got me thinking about who her character overall is going to be. And we'll talk about that offline. But yeah, I'm interested. I'm gonna keep coming back and watching it.
She has a lot of nipples. She's covered in nipples.
Covered in nipples.
Covered in. Yeah. So I saw Agatha. It's weird. I've had a lot of downtime, but I've also been busy during the day, and I'm not watching as much TV and movies as I did when I was working around the clock. Yeah, I was constantly watching stuff. Now I'm not doing as much. I went to the Atlantic Highlands area because it's the only place I could find that had Kevin Smith's new movie. It's not in theaters around me, so I went to see it's Smodcastle.
The Smodcastle
Cinemas. The 4:30 movie.
How did you like it?
It was good. It's not a typical Kevin Smith movie. There are parts. I'll say this. He took notes from Marvel.
Okay.
With a portion
Tony
of his
Stark,
a portion of his storytelling, where it all has to come together. It doesn't mean it's all resolved, but there's connections to things.
Okay.
And the way
it's one I still need to watch.
And you're watching and you're like, oh, this is weird. Ken Jeong is great in there. He's obnoxious and annoying, and he's perfect for the role of he manages the movie theater that they're all revolving around the story.
Which was filmed in that exact theater that you visited.
So, the part of the movie that I love that will mean nothing to anybody else, the opening part of the movie is panning through his hometown where he lived, and they're playing a clip like it's 80s Z100, which is a radio station I grew up here in New York.
Right.
So the movie starts off with an air check from Z100 with their 80s production. Like he got the 80s production to use for this air check thing. The DJ speaking through the whole thing is my pal Woody, who does radio out in Los Angeles. He's syndicated out of LA. So he's pretending to be a New York Z100 jock at the beginning of this movie. That set the tone. Cool. That set the pace for the rest of the movie for me, because I geeked out about that. I'm like, that's my life. That's about me. Around this time, I was all about that. So, again, won't mean anything to anybody else. Meant a lot to me that you did it.
That's pretty cool, though.
And the 4:30 movie. It's just a limited release right now, I think.
Well, if you go into the Out Now section, it is now on video on demand. So if anyone at home wants to catch it, you can check it out. Video on demand. It's not on any streaming services for free that you pay for or whatever, but you can rent the movie.
If you can't go to a movie theater, you can go and rent it online.
It was super limited. Like I don't think there was any real movie theaters close to me that was playing it. So I'm unfortunately going to have to catch it on video on demand because I wasn't able to get out to somewhere.
It was a 45-minute drive, but I went to support Kevin and I enjoyed the movie. So, the 4:30 movie, get it on video on demand now. I was not aware of that. So, there's that. All right, what else is out now in theaters this weekend? Joker 2, or 2, whatever you want to call it, looks terrible. I got to see part of it being filmed a long time ago at what they used. There's a hospital not far from where I live that they used for the Arkham Mental Hospital, or whatever it's called in the movie.
Right.
I went there and I stood on one of the side streets while they were filming. You saw the big Arkham letters. There's a song and dance number.
It's a musical.
I don't know what the music was because I was too far to really hear it, but I saw it and I went, this looks abysmal. So
yeah, it dropped in percentage. People are now getting their reviews out. 48% the last time I saw it. People are saying that you're either going to really hate this or you're going to like it. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure I'm going to really hate it.
I didn't really enjoy the first one. I hated the first one so much. Yeah, this looks terrible. I had posted on something online that this movie was terrible. And somebody goes, yeah, because you saw that already. And I go, actually, I did. And I told the same story that I told you about seeing the filming.
Right.
Oh, that's a typical Marvel fanboy for you. But I go, it has nothing to do with Marvel. I go, this barely has anything to do with DC, the way this movie is. I'm like, this thing sucks.
Right.
And I'm tired of these people. Look, I'm tired of people that hate everything. Okay, I get that. But they're not always wrong. Doesn't mean they're always right, but they're not always wrong. The people are online that don't like certain things with Star Wars, that don't like things with Disney, with Marvel, whatever. They're not always wrong. But the other side of the coin, you're not always right because you like musicals and you like representation and you like all these other things that makes these projects automatically amazing because it is these things and you haven't even seen it yet.
It was talking about Kevin Smith, it was the criticism he would get when he would post online, I just watched The Marvels, it was one of the best, and he would show a picture of himself crying, and it's like, of course you're not going to say any bad things about Marvel. And Chris Hardwick was the same way. Every time a Marvel property came out, he only had great things to say about it, and a lot of people at some point just started saying, well, you're a Marvel shill, you're this and you're that. It's like,
I get that, and some people work in these look, people like I'm not taking shots at Hardwick and anything, but they worked in a medium that had to work friendly with these properties. Chris Hardwick was hosting a lot of shit for Doctor Who when it was on BBC America. He was going to premieres, he was going to special events, Comic-Con panels and everything. So even if there were problems with Doctor Who, he wasn't going to publicly shit on Doctor Who because he's working with them. Same thing with Marvel, same thing with that. All these people who do nerdy websites, nerdy videos that are actually movie critics that are not just, blog opinion pieces, work for some outfits that are doing legitimate movie reviews and what have you. They can say what they want. They all want to be tied into any of these companies. Like, that's their ultimate goal. They'll say that's not, I'm independent, or I just call it as a... No, you don't. Because if Warner Brothers came around and said, hey, we really like your stuff, we'd like you to start doing more stuff for us here, we'll get you into some early screenings, all that stuff. Guess what you're going to do? You're going to tone down your approach to a lot of this stuff, right? You're going to really change your presentation and your writings and your media to fit that, to be somewhat critical, but pretty much kissing the ass of that company that's taking care of you. It happens. So yeah, you have to just know it's like, well, he's working with them, so he's going to say good things. But when you go and say, no, this is terrible, this is not good, just because you like musicals and you like the fanfare, you like the rom-com, you like the gay angle, you like the whatever's going on there, doesn't automatically negate every other opinion about a piece. Because again, it's art. Everybody's right and everybody's wrong for everything. But it doesn't mean I like this stuff and we're behind this protected invisible barrier because, of, we're the group that is sheltered at this moment here. What we say goes. Just because, I had theater nerds and losers writing to me too, and it's like, well, you have no idea what good taste is, and that's like, no, I don't like musicals. I've said that, but there are some things I like that are musicals. Willy Wonka, Cannibal the Musical. I know that's two totally different.
Oh, I love Cannibal
two totally
musical.
different things. Maybe even Little Shop of Horrors with Steve Martin and Rick Moranis in there, right? Not bad. I hate Grease. I think Grease fucking sucks.
I agree.
I hate Mean Girls. I know people love it. And it's beloved. Wait, does Mean Girls have musical numbers in it?
Mean Girls, the musical, came out. Mean Girls, the movie.
Mean Girls is a bad example then. That's not, I'm thinking. But you know what I'm talking about. There's things that come out that have musical numbers that are musical situations. Some are good. A lot of it's bad. You know what I hate? When you're watching a television series that you love and they have a musical episode. I know people love the Buffy the Vampire Slayer's musical episode because it was a demon possessing them.
I didn't hate it.
I thought it was terrible. I liked the Buffy show. The girl I was dating at the time was obsessed with it, so that's how I got into it. There was an episode where I think one of the scariest creatures I've ever seen in a sci-fi piece was from a Buffy episode.
Was it the Silent Men?
Yes.
Where they were smiling
where
all the time?
They're just staring out the window, and all of a sudden one smiles, it goes right past you. I jumped. I was terrified at that thing, and I go, wow, that was amazing.
Yep.
But because, it's artsy. Because we changed the characters for this. It doesn't have to be what the original storyline was. It could be whatever you want. Okay, great. If that's what's going to happen there, we're making White Black Panther then. Let's see how that goes. It's not going to happen because you'll have a problem with it, right? It sucks. Musical episodes stink. I might have to walk that statement back as Molly in the chat.
I was going to say, I'm like, this is a rough thing for you because I really enjoy the Scrubs musical.
What was the Scrubs musical episode?
Everything come down to poo.
Nope, that's terrible.
Oh, come on.
That's terrible. That's not the one I was thinking of.
It has like a neurological issue, and everything she's seeing in the world is going on as a musical.
No, that's terrible. What wasn't terrible is the episode where JD's walking around with the guy from Men at Work.
Oh, that's like season 1.
Where he's going, I've been walking in my sleep. When Colin Hay's just playing the guitar behind him. I loved that episode.
The inspiration.
I guess that's not technically a musical episode. It's a musical
that whole series is based off of musical choices and music thing. That was a direct musical episode. Right.
Point being that the Joker 2 sucks. It's garbage. It should not be a musical. It's going to bomb. I've already seen, I know you were saying that it's down percentage points. I saw an article.
39% as of right now.
There was some, see if you can Google this headline here and see which piece was it.
Okay.
It says, the Joker 2 will not make $1 billion, but it doesn't mean it's not going to be successful. It's something along those lines. They're already prefacing that, look, this may not make a lot of money, but it doesn't mean the movie's not going to be successful.
It's from The Wrap. So basically the quote is, Joker, Folie à Deux will not reach that 1 billion mark, but there's still a chance that the follow-up can be a hit film for Warner. If the fans of the original embrace the musical numbers that take place inside Arthur Fleck's fractured mind. So you're asking us to change how we view these characters to fit what you think. No, I'm not going to go see this.
No, that's the same kind of bullshit they put for the Halo TV show. Where he goes, well, look, I know you video game people and everything think you have to be exactly the story, but it doesn't make sense that the guy has a helmet on all the time and no one's going to believe that you're having interactions with somebody when you don't see them face to face. And guess what happened? You did that because you knew better. And what happened? Your $1 billion Steven Spielberg produced television show flopped famously. Yep. Because you thought you knew better than the source material. You thought you knew better than what the audience was telling you that they wanted from this. And then they wonder why things fail all the time. Oh, sure, you can say, oh, it's apparent racism and misogyny and all this other shit. Or don't fuck with shit that already has been proven successful. Don't break what's already been fixed. Or don't fix what hasn't been broken. That's the term I was looking for. Joker 2 is not going to be successful. It'll do okay. And then you're going to be like, oh, fanboys or whatever. They're going to find some way to spin it after this weekend as to why it wasn't a fucking huge success.
Yeah, it was our fault. I mean, shoot, like I said, the director of Ghostbusters, the female reboot, has just recently, a decade later, is blaming Trump and the Trumpies and everybody for its lack of success. I'm like, no, your movie sucked.
It sucked.
It had nothing to do with anything like that.
All right, we got to really wrap up here. Also on theaters, A Different Man. I don't know what that is.
It is a Sebastian Stan movie where he plays a man who has this neurological disease that deforms his face. He gets a facial reconstruction. No, it's the other one. It's The Apprentice. So he looks deformed in one, and then he gets a facial reconstruction surgery, and then he looks like Sebastian Stan, and now he's coping with how his life is now compared to what it used to be. And then he finds out there's a play going on about his life because he's kind of famous in the town. And now he's associating with the actor wearing all the prosthetics to look like how he used to. It looks really, really, really good. It's an
Is it like a new version of Mask?
Kind of. Yeah.
All right.
I'll send you the trailer. It looks really, really good. I think it's going to be one of those award season, Oscar bait type of movies. I really want to see it. I don't know if I'm going to get around to it. It's very limited release. It'll take me almost an hour to drive to the nearest theater that is, showing this, but it looks really good.
I've been walking in my sleep, dreaming
I love that episode.
That song's going to be stuck in my head all night now.
Day after day, he appears. Oh, it's yeah, exactly.
Available on demand. We mentioned the 4:30 movie earlier. Deadpool and Wolverine is now available on demand for your renting needs, and Speak No Evil. I don't care about that. Available now on HBO Max. Salem's Lot, the original?
No, they did a remake. And it was going to go to the theaters. It didn't go. It's going straight to streaming. So,
is this the first time it's out? Did I not see a remake of Salem's Lot?
Yeah, this is the first time this one's out. They had an original back in the 70s.
The original
80s.
one I remember seeing as a kid by today's standards, it's terrible, but
it's still creepy.
The kids floating in the window.
Oh yeah, they do this in this one too. Yeah. I saw the trailer for it.
No, I know, but with the eyes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
All right.
So yeah, it's out.
And then you want to talk about garbage? Velma season 2.
I can't believe this got a season 2. I barely made it 3 episodes in, and I said, "Fuck it."
Over on Disney Plus, like we said, Agatha All Along, 4 episodes available, and over on Apple TV, which I have not resubscribed to yet, Wolves. I don't know what that is.
It's Brad Pitt and George Clooney movie. I don't know anything about it. I just people have been promoting it a lot. I'm gonna check it out, but I don't know much about it though.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
Next week in theaters, Terrifier 3, which is a movie you and Giddles, I'm sure, are going to be happy to go see.
We've already talked about it today.
Of course you did. And Saturday Night, the film about the first episode of
First Night, yeah.
First night of all of that. I'm looking forward to that.
Me too.
Moving over to These Are the People Who Died.
Jesus Christ.
There's been a lot this week.
What a
Pete
week.
Rose died at age 83. Dikembe Mutombo. Was he the one that was in that insurance commercial?
Where he was like,
knock it over and go, Yeah, that one? Okay, yeah. So he died, brain cancer.
Brain cancer, 58.
At 58. Wow. That's something like wrestlers or football players or boxers would get, not a basketball.
What I almost did was put his full name in here just so you would read it off. But
nope.
If you have a chance, look up his full name. It's like 7 names, and they're almost all ridiculously
it's like
trying to say.
singing the opening of Lion King. I'm not going to be able to do it. Legendary musician and also part-time actor Chris Christopherson, dead at 88. Yep. Ken Page, the voice of Oogie Boogie, which a couple years ago I got to see the whole cast live perform an orchestral version of Nightmare Before Christmas. Danny Elfman and his orchestra were there.
Of Oingo Boingo?
Oingo Boingo. Everybody was there.
That's super cool.
One of the best things I've ever went to go see, and that's when I would entertain going to a concert. So yeah, Ken Page had passed away. John Amos, not Stamos, like I saw some news outlets fuck up.
So stupid.
John Amos, legendary actor. You know him from Good Times, from Roots.
He's a Beastmaster.
That too. I never saw that. He passed away. And then John Ashton. Not Aston. Not Gomez Adams. John Ashton passed away.
He played Lieutenant Taggart in the Beverly Hills Cop movies.
And his last movie was the 4th Beverly Hills
Cop movie.
Yeah, he looked rough in that movie too. He
really
so
did.
Frail and fragile. Like that's why they did a lot of desk scenes with him.
Yeah, he was just sitting the whole time. Yep.
Pink Floyd, nobody cares about, but sells their music rights to Sony for approximately $400 million. Yeah. I don't understand this trend. It's been happening for a while. I know Bon Jovi sold his rights. I know Bruce Springsteen sold his rights. They're made these giant amounts of money, but wouldn't you think over time that the catalog would be worth way more than what they're being paid?
It depends on if they have people to pass that money down to. Like, you would think that you would want to set like family members up and will the rights over to family so they gain the royalties of the rights. And maybe there's something in there with that. But yeah, like the Beatles sold their catalog off. People had Prince and all that stuff. So I don't know.
I used to work with Bruce Springsteen's kid, his son Evan. He was a couple offices down from us at SiriusXM. He worked there for a while. Nice guy, very quiet, but very nice guy. And nobody bothered him. Nobody came up to talk to him about his dad or whatever. And you know who the ones that used to drive poor Evan crazy? Celebrities, musicians that knew that he worked there. They would come and find his office to come talk to him. Employees never bothered him. Coworkers never bothered him. But when celebrities showed up there, because there was a Bruce Springsteen channel, it might still be there at Sirius. I don't know. But they're like, oh, Bruce, is Evan around? And like, now, you have the talent people. Such and such wants to come see you. And I'm laughing because it's like,
how's your dad?
Yeah, how's your dad doing, man?
How was it cool? Was it cool growing up around him? Did he play music at the house a lot?
No, it's not even that. These are other like like Tony Bennett. These are other famous musicians that just know his dad's. Like, how's your dad doing? What's going? Like talking family shop.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah. But it used to embarrass him and annoy him, so it was funny. But Evan was a really nice kid. Man, now.
Yeah.
So, Pink Floyd sold their catalog. That's fine. So you just spent $400 million for trippy songs with cash register machines.
Just never big into Pink Floyd.
And if you play it when the lion roars with Wizard of whatever.
Who cares?
Eminem is becoming a grandpa. In his video for his new single Temporary, Eminem reveals that he's going to become a grandfather. The song also includes the song included on the rapper's latest album, The Death of Slim Shady, is dedicated to his daughter Haley Jade, who surprised her father at the end of the video by giving him a jersey that reads Grandpa with the number 1 and a photo of her ultrasound. The video itself is a montage of footage of Eminem and Haley together over the years. Did you see that video he did? I think Jelly Roll sings the chorus for it.
That's dedicated to his other child.
It's dedicated to all his kids, right. But it's him living another timeline that he never got off of drugs and died, And he had to sit there and watch all his kids grow up and miss all the moments of their lives that he was a part of. And I'm watching this because it played after I was watching all the Houdini and the LL Cool J stuff. Yeah. And I guess it was another thing that automatically played. And I'm like, I didn't know this song, but I started hearing Jelly Roll and I went, what is this? And I'm watching the video. That's upsetting.
I guess that song is more of like an apology to his kids for never really living up to being a good enough father. I was reading a little bit about it, and this particular song was dedicated strictly to Haley. So like, there's songs in here that it's all his kids, and then like some are definitely for a specific kid. And yeah, it was. I've seen that video, and it's like, that's depressing. It's like watching the movie Click, where you think it's a comedy, and then you're like, oh,
I've never seen Click.
Yeah, it's a good Sandler movie, but it's not a comedy like you'd think it would be. Like, it's depressing.
I watched his latest special on Netflix.
Is it good?
Yeah, it's not bad. It's weird. It's really weird, but it was pretty good. All right, Eminem is becoming a grandfather. Look at that.
So weird, right?
Scream 7, a franchise that doesn't need to continue. Sets a release date. The latest entry in the long-running horror franchise will finally hit theaters on February 27th, 2 years from now. In 2026, after enduring production delays, creative overhauls, and cast shakeups, is what's her name still gone from the movie?
Jenna Ortega?
No, who was the one that got fired?
Melissa Barrera.
She's not coming back, right?
Nope. And that's why Nev Campbell's coming back. They're like, well, we lost 2 big actors. We have to roll the Brinks truck up to Nev and say sorry for not paying you enough the last round. Right. So Nev's back, but they are gone.
All right. Also leaving is Daniel Day-Lewis. He's announcing his retirement.
Okay, read the title. He's ending.
Oh, my bad.
His acting retirement.
Coming back out of retirement.
He's coming back out of retirement.
Let's reverse it. Daniel Day-Lewis is returning.
Hey, let's do the happy ending.
Yes. Daniel Day-Lewis is coming out of retirement, my bad, 7 years after his last movie for a film directed by his son, Ronan Day-Lewis. It's weird that he also has the Day-Lewis.
Yeah, I was always wondering about that.
The project was announced Tuesday by Focus Features and Plan B, who are... It's too late for Plan B. Who are returning on...
Why his son's doing it.
Sorry. What is this movie called?
Anemone?
That's a
like
weird
sea anemone?
Okay, Anemone. It'll be Ronan's directorial debut with his father starring along with Sean Bean. I like Sean Bean. Isn't he the one who dies early in all his movies?
Everything he dies in.
Yeah, right. And Samantha Morton. The film was co-written, blah, blah, blah. Does it tell you what the movie's about?
No. But it's weird because like he retired after Phantom Thread from back in 2017.
The Paul Thomas Anderson movie.
Said he's like, I'm done. I'm not going to be in it. And I'm quitting acting. And then his son's like, I'm making movies. He's like, all right, fine. I'll help you make it succeed and we'll see what happens.
Spider-Man Noir is beginning filming. And this is what's weird. So it's now production has officially begun for Spider-Man Noir. It's a live-action Marvel series from Sony Pictures, Amazon, MGM Studios, and MGM Plus. Stop, Sony, with this shit. Just give it to Disney. I've never wanted to support a corporation like that, but just give it to them. Stop bastardizing this stuff. Set photos would see Nicolas Cage donning a large trench coat while crouching down. So he's Spider-Man?
He's Spider-Man Noir. So he did the voice in that cartoon.
Hell. How is he playing Spider-Man?
Spider-Man Noir, he's a detective. Like, he's not the typical swinging around Spider-Man like you would think.
Yeah, but he's still old even to be a gumshoe in a movie like this.
He's going to sock you in the mitts.
Whatever. All right, so that's coming. Enjoy that nonsense. Set in 1930s New York. All right, Rust world premiere. I haven't heard about this movie, but Rust is coming, starring Alec Baldwin. We'll have its world premiere at the Poland Cambridge International Film Festival in late November. We knew that our event was important to her, and that important to who? Did I skip something here?
You skipped the entire.
Oh my God, I did. 3
years after
the onset accident killed cinematographer Helena Hutchins. Okay, he's coming in there. We knew it's important that this movie came out. All right, whatever. So the movie's coming out.
It's going to premiere finally.
Baldwin got off, but he's not going to be there, right?
Yeah, he's not going to show up.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to do any press for this movie.
No, there's been enough press with him in this movie. I think.
How much do you want to bet once this movie gets to a place where it's going to be like illegally distributed or something, people are going to pull screenshots like, look, you can still see some of her blood here in this part by the church or whatever it's going. Like, you're going to see some of that shit.
Oh, they did the same thing with The Crow with Brandon Lee. I mean, everyone's going to be like, oh, pause it. That's exactly where he got killed. No, it's not. Calm down.
Over on Disney Plus, Inside Out 2, if it wasn't enough that it made $11 billion, it clocked in 30.5 million global views in its first 5 days on the platform. That's probably the biggest success, not only for their animation division, but for the streaming service.
It's #1 film premiere year to date, but even more, the sequel dropped on Disney on September 25th, repping at 100 window for the movie cinemas streaming service. So basically, when it hit theaters and it hit streaming, it was 104 days. It was the longest gap that a movie has had in a long time before hitting streaming. Like, you're seeing things hit streaming almost like the week after they release. Wow. The viewership is the best film premiere on Disney Plus since Walt Disney Animation Studios since Encanto back in 2001. And it was basically the #1 in Europe and Latin America on the streaming platform. So it's continuing its run as just an animation juggernaut.
A juggernaut. I was just going to say that. And finally, to leave you with some terror in your life as we end this show in the month of Hollow Wicked, Rugrats live action movie is in the works. That will be a nightmare to watch with CGI.
I hope they shape their heads the same way.
CGI animated babies.
Ugh. I've never heard of just a worse idea.
Would be great if the kids are just passing by a TV and you see Reptar on television and it's just bastardized scenes of Godzilla -1. They just paint him green and you're just seeing, him stepping on people, ripping up. It'd be a lot of fun. Anyway. All right. We are very late. We need to get out. This episode's probably going to be chopped down. I know they're going to cut a lot out of this. But anyway, we got to get out of here. Here's the music. Here's the plugs. Jordan, what do you have?
Hi. Click the button. Gonna click the button? All right. If you want to come check me out on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it, or Instagram, Jinx Ronan, come say hi. I interact as much as I possibly can. And then I'm going to start getting more streaming stuff going on. Go back onto Twitch at Jinx Ronan 79 and start playing more video games because God knows I have the time.
Don't believe a word this guy says because we've been trying to play this. There's this video games franchise that you can only play if you have two people. If you're a single player, they won't let you play it. And I've been saying, when do you have time? And then he ghosts me up until the day we do a show. And then what happened? Oh, kids. It's always the kids. Now we know that it wasn't the kids. It's Lego. He's been lying this entire time.
No, I wanted to play that game with you. It doesn't work on my Steam Deck. It doesn't work on this. But I found out that it works on my Mac, so we will play that game right after you, me, and Rob run through the entire Halo series and kill bad guys.
Cool, because I don't know how to play that game. That'll be fun.
Well,
you'll be doing the stories, and I'll be trying to glitch through the walls. That's usually how it goes. For me and for the show, it's Eric Nagel across the board on all the social media platforms. If you're listening on the iHeartRadio app, thank you very much for doing so. If you're listening to us on Apple, Spotify, any of those other places you get on-demand content, do us a kindness. Go over there, leave us a positive review. It does help out the program. If you'd like to join us live each and every week as we do said program, you can hop on to our live rooms on Twitch and on YouTube. Do a follow, like, subscribe, click all the things. It's only free. It's not going to cost you anything. Hop in there and we'll let you know when we're live. You can come in and berate us or send us monies or do both. If you want to spend $20 and shit on Jordan, I will not stop you. Go over there and do all of that stuff. And if you missed all the live stuff and you don't want to do the audio, you want to see the video, the produced versions of the show are available on our YouTube channel. Okay.
And you know what? We just did a live consumer show. I don't know if the YouTube is up, but it might still be on Twitch. Come check us out. We ate a lot of snacks and got real sick.
Yeah, I that was the first time I ever did the consumer, and I got sick from it.
I did not feel good after that one. And we didn't eat anything like relatively disgusting.
This was probably the main culprit.
Yeah, the Yankee Candle Fanta.
It's like drinking palm olive.
It's so gross.
All right, we got to get out of here. So until the next time, everybody,
be excellent to each other.
And we'll be seeing you
It's Eric Nagel.
You are giving a woman money in order to obtain physical affection. We're talking about the world's oldest profession. Granted, this is sort of the Walt Disney version.
Alas, we're out of time.
Follow It's Eric Nagel on social media platforms. For ways to watch and listen to the show, or join us for the live shows, head over to itsericnagel.com. Yo, and remember to tell 2 friends so they can tell 2 friends, and they can tell 2 friends, they can tell 2 friends, they can tell 2 friends. You get the idea.
Keep it real, homies.